A very good evening to one and all. Myself, Dr. Sapna Suri, Associate Professor and MD Course Coordinator at DYPUSM, would like to welcome you all to today's webinar on trends in biopharmaceutical industry in association with Indian Merchant Chambers, MSME Chamber of Commerce and Industry of India, New Delhi, WTC World Trade Center, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, MCCIA, Global Exports India, Global TV. I wish to throw some light on our university. Here, D.Y. Patil deemed to be universities is UGC recognized. We have been AICT approved. We have been NAC re-accredited A. We have been ranked 77 by NRI. I would now like to take an opportunity to introduce to you D.Y. Patil deemed to be University School of Management. We have been located at Sector 4 CBD Belapur, Navi Mumbai. We have state-of-art infrastructure. We provide 100% placement assistance. We have a 3-year BBA course, the admission for which is open. We have a 2-year MBA course, the admission for which is open. Due to this pandemic, we are providing provisional admission to the students. So whoever wishes to take admission can get in touch with us. I would now like to, we also have our YouTube channel, DYPUSM Webinars. So you can like, share and subscribe the channel. Whoever wishes to see the past events or the upcoming webinars which are lined up, the subscription is free of cost. I would now like to introduce to you Dr. Vani Kamath. Dr. Vani Kamath is currently the Dean of School of Management. She is a business management graduate and a postgraduate from Bangalore University. She has completed her PhD in finance. She has more than 35 papers published in national and international journals of high repute. It includes Scopus Index and UGC Care journals. She has 16 years of teaching experience. She has been awarded with the Best Teacher by Higher Education Forum on the occasion of Teachers' Day. She was also the Board of Study member of Mumbai University Affiliated College. I welcome you, Dr. Vani Kamath. I would request Dr. Vani Kamath to kindly address the participants.
Thank you so much, Sapna, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, one and all who are present here. So today we are here to have a webinar on biopharma industry. I'd like to know what are the various trends which are currently happening in the sector. Because as all of us know that biopharma sector is having a tremendous growth in the last 1.5 years. Due to the pandemic, it has got a great push from the government too. And it is having a high growth sector. It is a high growth sector in the past 1.5 years. So if the same trend continues, then the career opportunities in this sector is going to be vast, and the students who take the admission in these courses like MBA in pharma and biotechnology are going to flourish like anything. So their career opportunities are going to be vast and it is going to be huge. So that is the reason why we are conducting this webinar. We have industry stalwarts who are from the industry, who are from the pharma and biotechnology industries. Apart from them, we have 2 of our alumni who have been our students, and they are going to throw light on the opportunities which we are having in this field. So I hope this webinar is going to enlighten all the students who are there on YouTube, who are watching us on YouTube. And the same is expected from the students also, the students from D.Y. Patil University who are also there. I think that is something which is going to enlighten them also with the inputs which they are going to get from the industry stalwarts. So with this, I would like to introduce our institute and also the university to all of you. Please give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. D.Y. Patil Group was founded by Dr. D.Y. Patil, the former governor of Tripura. He is also the former governor of Bihar and Kolkata. He is also the founder chancellor of D.Y. Patil University. With him, we also have Dr. Vijay D. Patil, the president of D.Y. Patil University. and the president of D.Y. Patil Sports Academy. He is also the president of Mumbai Cricket Association. We have Dr. Ajinkya D.Y. Patil, the president of Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University, the president of D.Y. Patil Group, and the pro-chancellor of D.Y. Patil University. D.Y. Patil, deemed to be University Navi Mumbai, is established under Section 3 of the UGC Act 1956. It is also NAC accredited with A grade. It's amongst the top 10% of Indian universities. Dr. Shirish Patil, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil deemed to be University, and he is also the ex-dean of D.Y. Patil Hospital. D.Y. Patil deemed to be University School of Management, Navi Mumbai, is located in Sector 4 CBD Belapur. We are accredited under AICTE and UGC. The recognitions which we have on our credit are Times Business School has ranked us #1 private university in Mumbai. The week has ranked DYPSM as 13th multidisciplinary university in the West Zone. Career 360 has ranked DYPSM with AAA plus as India's best university. BW Business World has ranked us 97th in India's top business school, and Business Today has ranked us 80th in business school category. DYPSM was also awarded second prize by HEF on innovation. It gives me immense pleasure to also share that our students are also ahead of us in this journey. So they have won various awards, and one of the example which I can quote here is that they have been awarded for innovation for inventing wireless home system, and they have continued this trend in the future too, and they have started their own startups. DYPSM has also bagged Excellence in Education Award. NIRF has recently ranked us 72nd in the year 2021. Best Teacher Awards, some of the glimpses of the Best Teacher Awards wherein our faculties have been facilitated by organizations. Then we have student awards in cultural events. Our students have won various awards and accolades in our national and international events. Some of the glimpses of that. About the teaching staff, I'm proud to say that all the faculties at DYPSM have completed their PhD. 80% of the faculties have more than 10 years of experience. All the faculties have published their research papers in Scopus Index journals, and more than 50% of the faculties are from the industry. The non-teaching staff, 2020 and 2021 was considered as the year of the pandemic. So we were all we were working from home, and we have conducted various conferences and webinars in spite of being at home. And it gives me immense pleasure to announce that DYPSM has recently conducted International Business Conference in the month of March, wherein we have speakers from various countries, and they came and spoke on various trade aspects with our students. It was a huge success. Along with the conferences, we also have leadership webinars, which is a continuation of the conferences which we conduct in our institute. So some of the examples of that is that we have conducted it in various topics like life skills, personality development, fintech industry. Then we have conducted under equity markets. It is under marketing strategies and so on. So some of the examples. So DYPSM has its own channel, YouTube channel, which is known as DYPSM Webinar. So I request all the participants to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. So you will find diverse topics on various aspects related to management here. So please have a look at it. The programs which we offer at our institute are BBA, MBA, and PhD. BBA is a 3-year full-time undergraduate program. MBA is a 2-year full-time postgraduate program, and PhD is a 3-year program. In MBA, we have programs like marketing management, finance management, human resource management, operations management, systems management, and entrepreneurship management. In sectoral program, we have international business management, sports business management, health and hospital management, pharma sector, biotechnology management, banking and insurance management, logistics and supply chain management, and aviation management. The intercollegiate sports event is known as Colosseum, wherein our students participate with full enthusiasm. Some of the glimpses are here in front of you. The cultural activity of DYPSM is known as Paramount, which is a 4-day event which happens at the intercollegiate and intracollegiate level. Some of the glimpses of that. DYPSM also believes in giving back to the society. So we believe highly on institutional social responsibility. And for this, in our endeavor, our students also give support to us. So we have recently conducted drives like plantation drive and road safety campaign. Drishti and Tesser are two of our social projects wherein our students have gone to the villages and helped the rural women in getting the employment and job opportunities. The testimonials which have come from the recruiters speaks a lot about our students. So one of our student who is recently passed, has got a salary of about 60,000 per month, even during the pandemic. Our recruiters. Under core management, we have companies like PepsiCo, Voltas, Lenovo, Godrej, IDFC, Tech Mahindra, Larsen and Toubro, Mahindra Finance, Policy Bazaar, etc. coming to our institute and taking our students. Under banking insurance sector, we have S Bank, IGBI Bank, HDFC Bank, Bank of Baroda, and many more. Under health and hospital, we have Apollo Hospitals, Fortis, Seven Hills Hospital, Sethi Hospital, Hinduja Hospital, and D.Y. Patil Hospital, Navi Mumbai. Please find the brochure of BBA admission. So we have 5 programs in BBA under marketing management, finance management, international business, banking, insurance, and hospital administration. Anyone who wants to take the admission for these courses can contact the numbers which are given here. Under MBA, we have core program and also sectoral programs as already mentioned. So please have a look at the numbers. If you are interested in taking admission, please contact these people. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Sapna.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vani. I would now like to introduce to you Professor Dr. R. Gopal. Professor Dr. R. Gopal is basically an engineer from IIT Kharagpur in mechanical engineering. Subsequently, he did his MBA, ICWA, PhD in postdoctoral research field. Professor Dr. R. Gopal is currently Director and HOD and former Dean of D.Y. Patil Deemed University School of Management. He has more than 27 years of corporate experience at Bush India Limited, Larsen & Toubro, Tata Economic Consultancy Services, and at Siemens. Additionally, he has more than 30 years of teaching experience in various B schools in and around Mumbai in the areas of marketing, finance, and general management, etc. He was also the visiting faculty in several B schools in USA. In USA, he has conducted several programs on topics like how to do business in India. He has also published more than 200 research papers, both in Indian and foreign journals. He has been awarded the Best Outstanding Research Paper at the Asia Pacific Marketing Conference held in Malaysia. He is also a reviewer to several international journals having a high impact factor. He is well conversant with the rules of AICT and as well as UGC rules, also the new education policy 2020. He is a guide for MPhil and PhD students of several universities in India. More than 100 research scholars have received their PhD and MPhil degree under his guidance. He is also the author of several books and is a chief editor to several national and international journals of repute. Additionally, he has written several books on management which have been highly received by the student and corporate community. To name some books that have been published, to name a few are Marketing Strategy and Applications, Case Studies in Business and Industry Management, Indian Context. Few books which are under print are Research Methodology and Marketing Finance. He has successfully conducted several webinars on topics like impact studies due to COVID-19, National Education Policy 2020, career development, etc. He has also conducted many national and international conferences. The latest has been on the theme Make for Bharat Go Global. Professor Dr. R. Gopal is recipient of many awards. To name a few are Rashtriya Vidya Saraswati Puraskar, awarded by International Institute of Education and Management. Rashtriya Vikas Ratna Award awarded by Economic Society, Growth Society of India. Glory of India Award awarded by Indo-British Society London. Rajiv Gandhi Education Excellence Award. Best Teacher Award awarded by Higher Education Forum. Best Management Teacher Award awarded in Management Education by MTC Global and Knowledge Cafe. Educationist Award by National International Compodium, New Delhi. Star of Asia Award, and many, many more. Recently, MSME Chamber of Commerce and Industry of India, New Delhi has declared Professor Dr. R. Gopal as a Corona warrior. His motto is always to transform every student into an achiever so that every student will create a success story. I welcome you, Professor Dr. R. Gopal. Now I would request Professor Dr. R. Gopal to kindly address the participants.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Vani, Rashmi, Yadav, Kunal Sonomane, Garde, and the host of other panel members who are here, whose name I would have missed out. Viewers on Global TV, viewers on YouTube, and everybody who are here. Before I begin my talk, I want to request everyone who is watching the TV, who is watching this program, including any of my panel members, including my friends, my colleagues, my students, my children, kindly get yourself vaccinated when your turn comes, and it's very, very important. And it's important because we need to beat the probable effect of COVID wave 3. The Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of Maharashtra both have predicted that probably the wave 3 would come somewhere after Diwali, maybe in the month of November or so. And its severity could be as bad as what could be in wave 2. But they are taking steps to control that severity, which is a good sign. The COVID wave 2 has taken a big hit on the Indian economy. The GDP for FY21 has dropped for the first time to a level of minus 7.3% per annum. And according to various economists, the GDP for the next year, that is FY 2022, that is 2021 to 2022 March, the GDP is expected to grow to a level of 8%. And the RBI just yesterday had predicted that the GDP will grow to 9.5%, which indicates immediately a V-shaped growth which is taking place, and which is a very good sign. Looking at the current production investments which are all taking place, I think, in my opinion, there is a very good probability that we will touch the predicted GDP. But however, the biggest challenge today is not the GDP, but the biggest challenge today is the unemployment. In August 2021, we lost almost about 2 million jobs, being the carry forward of the wave 2 effect which took place in the last couple of months. It is expected by December 2021, around 216 crore vaccination doses will be available, sufficient to vaccinate around 90% of the targeted groups. This has, however, been revised to about almost 180 crore vaccinations. And we have so far achieved something like about 68 crore vaccinations. No, we still have miles to go. Last year in April 2020, we started a new series called as Knowledge Series. And the idea of this knowledge series was to ensure that we spread what we are best at doing, and that is spreading knowledge to everybody. And based on that, we completed something like about 45 webinars on various topics. Subsequent to that, and considering what is happening around the industry, we modified our pedagogy to include subjects belonging to Industry 4.0. That means data analytics, digital marketing, AI, etc. When I did a study in 2020, I did talk to a large number of students, large number of faculties on the online teaching that was going on, and all of them said that the lectures are boring. And why they said the lectures are boring is because they said most of the faculties are not well versed with ICT. They are not. They just read out from the PowerPoints, etc., etc. And then I reflected back, and when I reflected back and I was checking with my own faculties, I found out that our faculties for the last 10 years have been making the lectures interesting. And I did check with the alumni also, and they all said that our lectures are interesting, our lectures are fun-loving. And how do they do that? They do that by asking a variety of questions. And when I was in the US, I talked to a large number of HR people of different companies, and they said, while you Indians are very good in knowledge, but there is something seriously lacking. And I said, what is that? They said, we lack in critical thinking. We lack in problem solving. And I said, why do you make this general statement? They said, I've been talking to various people from leading institutes, and this is exactly what I've been finding. And when I spoke to my students, when I spoke to my faculties, they said, sir, we designed the course in such a manner that critical thinking and problem solving comes automatically, because through the case study method that we develop for ourselves, we use Indian case studies, which is interdisciplinary, not just functional, it is interdisciplinary, and we have an interdisciplinary case study also. And this is what helps the student in trying to solve problems and trying to understand the issues that are involved, and thus make the whole thing more apt. The COVID wave 2 has been very, very stressful. And more stressful because what has happened is many of the students who are in remote areas like parts of Bihar, parts of UP, parts of Central India, or even parts of Maharashtra, remote parts of Maharashtra, where the internet is very weak. And for the last 5 years, not just yesterday, not just today, but for the last 5 to 7 years, we have started a system called the LMS, or the Learning Management System, whereby we have asked all our faculties to upload the entire presentations and their lectures, including the recordings of the lectures, on the LMS. Now, the biggest advantage is that our students are able to read the lectures, are able to understand the lectures, are able to listen to the lectures, including what the teacher is talking at any point of the day or night, whenever the net is very strong. And the result of all this has been, and many more actions which the university has also taken up, has been that our university today has been ranked 72nd as per NIRF out of more than 600, 700 universities that are there in this country. One very important thing that we have done, we have tied up with various organizations like the WTC, World Trade Center, Indian Merchant Chambers, the MSME Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, the Global TV, etc. And we have signed MOUs with them. And what does the MOUs work? The MOUs help us in getting faculties from the industry so that we are able to bridge the industry institute, or the academic industry bridge that is there, the gap which is there. We are able to bridge them through various lectures that these industry people take. That's number one. Number two, the industry people help us in giving live projects to our students. And the advantage of these live projects has been that these students go to the colleges, go to the organizations, work out there twice a week or thrice a week, and understand how the organizations work. And if they are able to impress the organization, I'm using the word impress the organization, and if the organization is impressed by the work of these people, then we get what are called as pre-placement offers, and more than 5% of our faculty, of our students have already received pre-placement offers, which is very, very good. And the net result has been that almost last year, that is, I'm talking of 2021, our placement has been almost 100%. Even today, there are certain sectors like the pharma sector, the biotech sector, the financial sectors, where the organizations are calling us up and saying, sir, do you have students who can be placed immediately? And they are willing to offer any amount between, up to about 8 to 9 to 10 lakhs of rupees. That is the power that we have from all these industry interaction. Our alumni has also been very, very helpful in all of this. And why are we doing all of this? Because I want to mention one thing very clear to all of you all. The school's vision has always been students first. And we would do everything to make the student happy, to make the student learn, and to ensure that they become success stories. And this is exactly what my own personal objective is. My own personal vision is that every student of mine must be a success story in life. And to this extent, we've done a lot many activities and which have been initiated and implemented. Since May 2021, we have started a new series called as the Leadership Series. And in this process, we've conducted almost 25 webinars. Our webinars are conducted on every Saturday between 5 or maybe like today, it's at 4 o'clock, mainly because of the Ganpati Visarjan, which takes place today. But otherwise, our webinars are normally between 5 to 7. And it's on various topics which help students become leaders of tomorrow. Now, today's topic is on pharma industry, and this is something which is very, very close to my heart. The pharma and the biotechnology industry is something which is very, very close to my heart. And why do I say that? If you look at the Indian pharma sector, they have developed drugs, and that too in a very short time. For example, they've developed the 2-DG or 2-deoxy-D-gloxy, the glucose anti-COVID drug, which has become a game changer. A new drug, Casimimab-1 plus Indimimab-1, which is a cocktail of 2 SARS-CoV-2 drugs, has been designed, and clinical trials, I'm told, is going on for this. Another drug, Molnupiravir, which is currently undergoing clinical trials by 5 major pharmaceutical companies. Zydus has come up with Zycov-D, which is also under approval. Serum Institute has come up with a new drug, which is meant for children below 12 years or something like this. All this could be a game changer. And in my view, the current coronavirus has turned out to be a global virus spreader. Not only that, we are now entering into an era of biological warfare. Mark my words, guys. We are entering into an era of biological warfare. And in future, I see the biological warfare going in a manner where, instead of being spread all over the world, it's going to get restricted to certain specific areas. And what is then expected of the pharma industry? The pharma industry has to develop vaccines which are much faster, much quicker, and within the shortest period of time. It cannot take 6 months to 1 year to develop a vaccine anymore. You have to start developing the vaccine within, let's say, I'm just letting my imagination run wild. Maybe within 1 week, maybe within 10 days. God alone knows whether it will happen or not, but something like that I'm talking about. Or they could develop a vaccine which is like universally valid for all coronavirus type of things. Maybe like one shirt fits for all. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert in this, but yes. Medically, if you look at the current situation, our country and the globe has a major pandemic coming in every 5 years. In 1988, we had hepatitis E, followed by hepatitis C, followed by the Sabia virus, followed by the SARS virus, and the H5N1, the Asian flu, the aviation flu, the H1N1 corona swine flu, etc., etc. Additionally, I personally feel that the next major issue for India is going to be the Ebola, the Marburg virus or the laser fever, the monkeypox, etc. And with this onslaught of monsoon which is taking place, the dengue has started coming in a very big way, and also leptospirosis has come on a big way. And therefore, it is necessary and imperative for us as pharma companies to develop newer and quicker vaccines as fast as possible. I am not talking of the other areas like the cardio or the gastroenteritis, which is something which is again becoming a major area, or the cancer drugs which need to be developed. Diabetes is something which is occurring even in smaller children. I'm surprised. It's occurring even in smaller children. So the pharma has a big work to do. And that is why I said the pharma can never mature. It can never be on the decline stage of the PLC. It is always going to be a sunrise industry. And that's what I personally feel about the pharma industry. But the pharma industry has to grow itself, At one point of time, we were called as the Indian pharma, was called as the global supplier. But today we are dependent on the globe. And why are we dependent on the globe? Because we were once manufacturing APIs, the intermediary pharma drugs. And this suddenly became, we started importing from China. And when the Ladakh war took place, the government of India banned Chinese drugs, Chinese APIs, etc. And then suddenly we became a net importer from being a net exporter. And that's why I keep saying that this pharma sector has to develop the lower areas like the organic drugs that are required, the intermediaries that are required, so that the supply chain becomes completely full and we are totally independent and we become once again Atmanirbhar, dependent completely on our own resources. It's not that we don't have the resources, we have the resources first. For you students who are watching, let me tell you once again, let me reiterate once again that this pharma sector is a sunrise sector. Job opportunities are plenty. Career growths are superb. Three basic sectors, the health and pharmaceutical, the health and hospital sector, the pharma and the biotech sector, and the consumer goods and the financial sector. These are the four major sectors where the sun never sets. This is something which you guys must understand. And the job care opportunities that are available are basically in the areas of for an MBA. I'm talking of an MBA, not of an M-Pharm or those who are in the core pharma, but for an MBA pharma, the job opportunities are drug distribution managers, pharma export managers, pharma logistics managers, market researchers, drug developers, purchase managers, drug writers. This is something which is growing very rapidly. Drug writers, customer interface managers, environmental specialists, science writers, food processing industries, etc. And I don't know, the salaries are also extremely good, but all MBA guys must understand that the pharma industry rightly believes that the first 3 months you have to work like a market, like a sales rep, meet the doctors. And I think this is very important. Why? Because you have to understand your customer before you can even talk to the customers. And that's why they believe that the first 3 to 4 months, every student of MBA student has to join in has to become a sales rep. And I think it's a good practice that the pharma industry is following. But I can keep on talking because this is very close to my heart. Let me tell you this very clearly. And therefore, to speak more about this, kindly welcome Pratibha Yadav, Kunal Sharma, Kunal Sonavane Garde, and all the other people, Manohar Aisure, Dr. Sakaram Garde and everybody. Please welcome all of these guys because these guys are the guys who are who's who of the entire pharma sector. I understand from my colleagues that the registrations are around 600 to 700. I would request all these viewers to put your queries in the chat box and we would definitely try to answer all of them. And this is something which I'm trying to tell you. Many of the stakeholders have requested us to consolidate the webinars and therefore we've created our own DYPUSM channel. So when you go to the YouTube and when you press DYPUSM and you type DYPUSM on the search search button of the YouTube, you will see a whole lot of webinars coming in. All of these are the DYPUSM webinars. Click on one of them, like it, share it, and subscribe to it. This subscription does not cost you money, guys, okay? But it helps us in understanding what is the profile of the people who are watching so that we can develop our own series, the next series in a way that you want it. And therefore, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. With these few words, I thank you, all of you all were patient listening. And before I'll go, let me request all of you all to please vaccinate yourself, and vaccinate yourself. And please follow the COVID appropriate behavior. Thank you very much. And God bless all of you all. Thank you. Sapna?
Yes, sir.
Sorry,
Thank
I've
you.
taken a lot of time because this is a subject which is extremely close to my heart and I can't help it, Sapna.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. R. Gopal, for your valuable thoughts. I would now like to introduce to you Dr. Rashmi Mishra. Dr. Rashmi Mishra is an assistant professor at DYPUSM. She has been teaching since 1 decade and she specializes in biotechnology. She is also PhD in management and she has also written many research papers in the management arena in various management topics also. Now, I would now request Dr. Rashmi Mishra to kindly address the participants.
Everyone, welcome you all to the webinar, which is actually after a lot of thought process we have gone to the. Dr. Gopal has rightly mentioned the biopharmaceutical sectors, how it is moving ahead and this thing. I will always also give you a glimpse of what actually biopharmaceutical is going through. And during COVID situation, there was a lot of thought process which went into topic selection, and then we came to a conclusion that yes, we must give a thought to the topic which is well versed and which is very relevant in today's world. So the Indian biopharmaceutical industry that was valued at $70 billion in 2020 is expected to reach $150 billion targeted by 2025. The percentage share of biotechnology segment is biopharmaceutical accounts to 62%, CROs, that is clinical research organizations, or bio-IT, that is bioinformatics or research, accounts to 15%, bioagriculture accounts to 16%, and bioindustrial sector accounts to 7%. Now, why biopharmaceutical sector is considered to be very lucrative in India is because of few factors. First is skilled human capital. Now, with a total population of 1.3 billion, 50% of being under the age of 25, India has a large pool of young and skilled workforce. India has a large reservoir of scientific human resources, including scientists and engineers. Infrastructure facilities. Under the Union Budget 2021-22, the government announced plans to set up 9 biosafety level 3 labs through Pradhan Mantri Atmanirbhar Bharat Swasth Bharat Yojana. Next comes the policy support. 100% under automatic route for greenfield projects for pharmaceuticals, 74% permitted for brownfield projects, 100% is allowed for the manufacturing of medical devices. Now, I happen to say these greenfield projects and brownfield projects, well, they are the project investments, and there are two types of foreign direct investments. With greenfield investing, a company will build its own brand new facilities from the ground up level. Brownfield projects investments happens when a company purchases or leases an existing facilities. Third, fourth comes the epidemiological factors. Patient pool expected to increase over 20% in next 10 years, mainly due to rise in population, disease and lifestyle changes to boost demand for drugs and services. The biopharma sector market is expanding fast and working under three important dynamics. Now, disease therapy, prevention, and diagnosis. Disease therapy includes recombinant protein therapy, antibody therapy, cell and gene therapy. A vaccine is the most important biopharmaceutical product used for infectious disease prevention, and this Dr. Gopal was mentioning throughout our introduction, that he mentioned about vaccines, he mentioned about vaccinations, how important it is, and what is the role of biopharmaceutical market in, giving rise to such important products in the market. In addition to clinical significance in therapy and prevention, but they can be used to diagnose disease. For example, monoclonal antibodies has been successfully applied in the diagnosis of some cancers and infectious diseases. 2020 has brought many unanticipated biopharmaceutical risks and challenges, but it has also brought some of the biggest opportunities to date. Biopharmaceutical companies are seeing a year of growth, new problems to solve, and innovation. In order to execute these growth opportunities, companies are considering employing expert consultants to help products and business development in a biopharmaceutical sector. And this is where the role of MBAs in pharmaceutical and biotechnology sectors come into existence, but these two sectors play a very important role, and our students, the graduates, play a very important role in, getting recruited in such kind of sector. The biotech industry is adopting trends like artificial intelligence, data analytics, and automation to optimize production. COVID-19 pandemic really highlighted the far-reaching impact of the biotech industry and pharmaceutical industry, with startups and companies alike developing rapid test kits, repurposed drugs, that is positioning of old drugs due to substantial cost and slow pace of new drug discovery and development, and vaccines overall. Now, biopharmaceutical sector along with healthcare sector are collaborating with pharmaceutical, biotechnology and medical device clients to tackle complex challenges of business and society as well. Now, we in D.Y. Patil School of Management have very well advanced with the course of MBA Biotechnology and MBA in Pharmaceutical Industry Management, where we have updated our course curriculum for students to gain a solid foundation in leadership, project management skills, and managerial skills developed to work in biotech and pharma industry. Not only that, we also ensure that the students are well versed in economic concepts and application of these concepts in real world business and policy making. Last but not the least, we have advanced in the course of business management in such a way that organizational structure, intellectual property rights, scientific reasoning, market research, and business ethics are known to them, through all the 4 semesters. As a closing remark, 2 things that I would reiterate. First is emerging trends and future prospects of biopharmaceutical industry in India and in abroad, with whatever stats that I have shared with you. And second is how equipped and well designed are the D.Y. Patil management courses are in, which makes us suitable and which makes our students suitable and adopted by this industry as per their interest areas. And Dr. Gopal has rightly mentioned that there are so many job opportunities during COVID, post-COVID, which has made this biopharmaceutical sector very serious business as well as critical and lucrative business. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sapna. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashmi, for your thoughts. I would now like to introduce to you our first guest for the day, Mr. Kunal Sunamne. Mr. Kunal Sunamne has 9 years of rich experience in pharma marketing. He is also into brand management, strategic marketing, and digital marketing. He's handling various therapies like Apple's speed, asthma, COVID, depression, and schizophrenia. He's also experienced in forecasting, brand launches, brand plans, brand building, therapy shaping, launching various in-clinic and out-clinic activities. He's currently associated with Abbott Healthcare as a brand manager. Prior to this, he was associated to many good pharma industries such as Zydus Cedilla Healthcare, Torrent Pharma, and Sun Pharma Private Limited. As brand manager, he's working on the key projects initiatives of the division. He's established close liaison with the field force to access the response of suitability of current promotional material and to ensure that the print promotional material is being used optimally. In market research, he's analyzed the CNS and respiratory market for current market dynamics. Regular market research through self-working in the field by interacting with customers to understand customer perception, enabling improvisation in current strategies. Talking about his achievements, he was given an award for Quitpin, which became the most prescribed antipsychotic brand in CNS therapy as per SRC in November 2016. Quitpin became the most valued antipsychotic in IPM and for Sun CNS. Benzap became the fastest growing brand for the division for the financial year 15-16. He has successfully launched the SKUs of Combatist brand in respiratory therapy. Combimist L became the highest value brand launcher in the last 3 years of Respicare division. He has handled many good projects and he had done so many good projects with up-leading brands such as Novartis Pharma Limited. I welcome you, Mr. Kunal. I would request Mr. Kunal to kindly address the participants.
Yeah. First of all, very good afternoon to all of you. And I really thank Dr. Sapna Suri for a wonderful introduction. So I'll take 15 minutes because the time allocated for me is around 15 to 20 minutes. So let me allow to share the screen so that I can very quickly share the screen. So I hope the screen is visible and I'm audible as well. Yeah. So first of all, I want to appreciate the initiative taken by D.Y. Patil College of Management with a very wonderful initiative, giving a platform to all the students who are pursuing their management course, and even to the aspirants who wish to to go ahead and pursue their MBA course. This gives a platform in terms of giving them a fair understanding about how the pharma sector is doing, how the biopharmaceutical sectors, which includes the biotech as well as the pharma sectors, are doing. And from the people who come from the industry or who come from the corporate side of the industry, they share their insights, and this would be really helpful for the students as well as for the aspirants. So in the next 15 minutes, I would take this opportunity to talk about the digital evolution which has happened in the biopharma sector, and how the biopharma sector is going to behave, or maybe it is going to evolve in the period of next 5 to 10 years, because many things are changing in the last couple of years and even in the last 5-6 years. Because of COVID, there has been a a huge shift in the digital adoption or the digital behavior, not only related to pharma or not only related to the pharmaceutical, but in all aspects of the behavior. We have really preferred the digital way of reaching out, or digital way of adopting to newer things. So I would be talking about how the digital evolution or the adoption of digital medium has really impacted the biopharmaceutical sector, and how the future is going to be for the biopharma sector because of the digital adoption which is happening. So what has changed? So first I'll start with the question which is which the viewers who are watching, for them it would be a very relevant question. In the last 1.5 years or last 2 years, if you really look back, if we ask this question to ourselves, what has really changed? So you can find that there are many things which are changed. Because of COVID, because of lockdown, and because of the restrictions that we are facing, our overall behavior has quite evolved in the last period of 1.5 2 years. So there are many things which have changed. So if we ask this question, if I have to just give you a quick fact about it, if you look at these numbers, though these numbers are slightly old numbers, but when you look at when it comes to India, so in the last 3 to 4 years, if I compare 2017 to 2020, so there is huge number of addition of people who have started using internet. So if you can see the comparison, almost say 400 million users were there who are using online medium in 2017. If I compare that number with 2020, it is almost 650 million people. And if I take the very recent situation, this number will be even more higher. If we look at 2021, because that would add up to more number of users who are actually accessing the online medium. So the important change which has happened in the last 3 years or last 4 years is that lot many people who are earlier not using the digital medium or not using the internet have started using the internet. And if you also look at one of the important fact which is there on the screen, 330 million users who are using the smartphones in 2017. If we compare the number of last year, it was almost around 500 million users who are using the smartphones. So that is, these two important indicators clearly suggest that many of us, many of our colleagues, many of our friends, many of our peers are using internet. They are using the online and the digital medium. And because of COVID, this has only helped us to leverage the digital and the online medium, because in the last 3 or 4 years, we have really evolved in terms of our usage of the internet and also our usage of the online medium. So if we talk about internet, earlier internet was only about Wikipedia, it was about Paytm, it was about Google Maps, it was about Netflix. So we used to, if we wanted to search anything, we used to go to Wikipedia, which earlier we used to refer the yellow pages. Now cards got replaced to the Paytm, which is the online wallet and the online payment platform. Earlier we used to use the maps which were there on the screens. Now we are using on the mobile phones, we have the apps of Google Map. We earlier used to watch televisions very frequently, but now it has replaced or taken over by Netflix. Even the movies which we used to go out and watch in the theaters, now we are watching all the movies on the Netflix and the Amazon Primes. So this is a huge shift in the behavior which is happening from the traditional way of consuming things or doing things. We are moving to an online and the digital medium. So that is a real change which is happening in the last 3 or 4 years. And in the last 1.5 2 years, it has even fueled more in terms of adoption of the digital behavior when it comes to doing things digitally. Now, what has changed? This was some general example, but when I talk about biopharmaceutical sector, or if I talk about healthcare and pharma and biotechnology sector, or the services which are related to biotech, pharma, as well as healthcare, now this trend is also evolving. Just like we use digital cash, we use digital payments. We have Netflix and Amazon for consumption of the entertainment and the content. Similarly, now many people or many of us have also started having teleconsultation, online consultations. We buy our medicines using the online platforms or the e-pharmacies. If we have any doubt about the symptoms that we are having, especially due to COVID, we have got a lot of awareness about different symptoms, different medicines. If we have any doubt, we go to Google and check about the symptoms. We go to Google and check about what are the medicines available for the particular symptom. So a lot of change is happening when it comes to also adoption of the behavior or being conscious about the health or being conscious about the consumption of the pharma products or the biotech products that we are having for us and also for our families. So this is really helping. And one such example, if I have to give you, if we compare from 2016, if we take a time frame of 4 years, you can clearly look if I have a clear indicator or analytics of the search of doctor near me. Earlier, nobody was searching online or on Google about which are the doctors nearby to our places. So, but if you look at the trend of the last 4 years or 5 years, the search of doctor near me has really gone up. So this is a clear indicator that people are now, though consultation of the doctor is a physical or a non-digital kind of a medium most of the times, but even for those set of services, even people are searching online. So that gives an indicator that the behavior of the people is changing. They want to consume the services, they want to consume the products and leverage the digital medium for having consumption of the services and the products related to the bio and the pharma sector. So what is the change in the behavior? If we look at the behavioral shift in the new medium of the digital pharma or the digital biopharma, the traditional way of buying things or buying products was, if I get aware about the product, I have the interest for the product or the service, then I as a consumer will evaluate different options which are available to me. And once I am committed to a certain option amongst the different options, I will go to buy that particular product or the service. I will consume it and then become loyal to the product or the service which I have consumed. So this was the traditional way of buying things. This was the traditional way or the conventional way of consuming things, be it a product or the service. Now, how is it changing? Now, in the last couple of years or last 3 or 4 years, this behavior has really changed a lot. It is no way a very linear way of approaching to buy a product or approach towards consuming a service. It is very complicated now. It is very complex in terms of understanding the behavior of the consumer who really wants to buy a certain product or wants to consume a certain service. If you can look at, there are multiple interventions where we try to utilize the digital media. We try to utilize the online medium to get information about the service or to get information about the product which we want to consume. And this is again very true to when it comes to the pharma and the healthcare sector. Even if I have to take vaccine now, everything has become digital. I go on the COVID app and book the appointments and then go to the vaccine center and have the vaccination. So as Dr. Gopal was also saying and emphasizing on the importance of vaccination, this behavioral shift, as we have also seen when it comes to consuming or availing the service provided by the healthcare service providers or even by the biopharmaceutical sector in terms of the products and the services. So now what exactly does the future hold for the biopharmaceutical sector? As my previous speakers and during the introduction of the program or the topic for today, we have already mentioned, or they have already mentioned about how lucrative it is when it comes to the overall growth of the biopharma sector. And because of the evolution of the healthcare sector or the evolution of the digital medium in the biopharma sector, this growth is even looking more lucrative in the last or coming 5 to 10 years. Now, how does the future or what is the future for biopharma sector? If I have to talk about that, so normally if I take example of anybody who is working in the biopharmaceutical sector, most of the times the consumers are the healthcare providers, be it the hospitals or the doctors, or the chemists and the retailers or the supply chain partners. So if this digital behavior is changing in this last 5 to 10 years, going forward in the next 10 years, it is really going to impact the overall way of how the biopharma sector reaches out to the consumers or the customers. So when I talk about consumer, it includes the patients like you and me, who are in a way consumers of the medicines of the biopharmaceutical sectors. When we talk about customers, they are the doctors, the hospitals, the nursing staff, the paramedic staff, the pharmacy personnels, or the chemist and the retail chain, who also hold as the customers for the pharmaceutical sector. So this digital adoption, the digital behavior, or way of adopting the digital medium to reach out to the customers and the consumer really is going to change the biopharma sector going forward. So in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, this is really going to enable the pharma companies or the biopharma companies to very easily reach out to the consumers and very easily reach out to the customers who are the doctors and the hospital staffs and the service providers. So adoption of the digital medium to reach out to the customers and the consumers is going to be the future for the biopharma sector. Having a very targeted communication, which the biopharma sector will adopt in the next 5 to 10 years to reach out to the customers, to reach out to the doctors, to reach out to the pharmacists or the channel partners, which will really help to leverage the overall scope of doing business for the biopharma sector in the next coming 5 to 10 years. When we also talk about the digital adoption, even for connecting to the patient, earlier for the biopharma companies, it was very difficult to reach out to the patient because they are very scattered, and it is very difficult to physically reach out to the patients who are there in the different geographies. For the biopharma companies, it was a very difficult affair to reach out to the patients. But now with the adoption of the digital medium, now even the patients are using the digital medium. They are using smartphones, they are using the internet. And because of this adoption of the digital medium for the pharma companies and the biotech companies, it has even become more easy to reach out to the patients, to have a very connected option or the connected care which they can provide to the patient. So now the patient can avail the care not only by going to the doctor's clinic and buying the pharma or the biopharma product, but now they can go online, learn about the products, have information about awareness about the disease that they have. They can also search the doctors online. The pharma companies can also educate about their products and the services to the patient or the end consumer. So this whole adoption of the digital medium has really helped the biopharma companies, and in the next 5 to 10 years, it would really enable the biopharma companies to provide a connected care or a comprehensive care or holistic care to the patients who are consuming the service or consuming the products which are manufactured and marketed by the biopharmaceutical companies. So in and all, the digital adoption and the digital evolution of which has been enabled or which will enable the biopharma companies to reach out to the consumers, to reach out to the customers, and the next 10 years are going to be really beneficial and really impactful for the biopharma sectors. And this would really help to fuel the growth of the biopharma sectors because of the digital enablement or digital adoption. This really would help the biopharma sector to grow a lot. And that is all I wanted to share with you all. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can put it in the chat box. We'll be happy to answer all of them. So this is all we wanted to share. So in terms of the digital adoption, it is really going to help the biopharma sector. And as the topic says, in the next 5 to 10 years, it's really going to be the year of biopharma. As Dr. Gopal also said that next 10 years belong to the pharma and the biopharma sector. It's a high growth sector, and going forward also it will continue to be a very high growth segment. So thank you for the time. If you have any doubts, if the participants have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Hi, Kunal. There is a question from a viewer
Rashmi, we'll have question answer session at the end.
later on.
Kunal, I would request you to kindly stop sharing your screen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kunal, for your valuable thoughts. I would now like to introduce to you Dr. Sakaram Garale. He is currently a physician and MD with an MBA from a very good management institute. He is also currently pursuing PhD in management. He has over 20 years of rich experience in global medical affairs, medical marketing, clinical research and development, public health, regulatory affairs, pharmacovigilance and development, public health, regulatory affairs, project management, vendor management, compliance, people management in pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. He has had exposure to domestic and international markets with multinational corporations like Milan Laboratories Limited, Abbott Limited, Quintilins Translational Limited, Sendos India Limited, and Glenmark Pharmaceuticals Limited. He brings an extensive experience of working in international markets, that's emerging markets, along with India for global medical affairs, medical marketing, public health, commercial leadership, operation, and strategy. He has attained expertise in pharmaceutical research activities like managing phase, IV, PMOS, epidemiology, HERD, RWE, life cycle management, and IS clinical trials. He also has the upper hand in setting up the unit and managing bioavailability and bioequivalence studies with leading CROs, local and multinational pharma organization in the industry at different levels. He's a well-known KOL, speaker and trainer in healthcare industry seen at various events and conferences in India and APAC, associated with small and medium-sized healthcare pharmaceutical startups as consultant for operations and strategy. With his vast international experience and exposure, he brings the detailed insights from international healthcare markets for commercial exchange. I welcome you, Mr. Dr. Sakaram Garale. I would request Dr. Sakaram Garale to kindly address the participants.
Thank you, Dr. Sapna. Sorry, I have a puja going on at my place, and excuse me for this. It's a second day's Ganesh Visarjan. So I would like to quickly share my screen, and then I have a presentation which I would like to display, and I would like to run the presentation. I hope my screen is visible. Okay. Yeah. So, and am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Perfect. So I have 40 slides and I'm going to quickly run through. There are a lot of good experts. Thanks to Rashmi ma'am and also to the DYP management for giving the opportunity to connect with the young minds on this platform. Okay. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to run through. I have two sections to share with you all on this, that I would talk about the projections of biopharmaceutical industry with the key take homes and the skill set needed for the industry. Okay. So I start off with this topic. What am I going to quickly share is that ideally we have confusion. What do we do after degree, a business, a higher education, or to go for jobs? Industry insight, what does industry give to you at this stage, with regards to jobs or, businesses? Do we call any education as a terminal education? Then what are the skill sets needed? Importance of mentorship in your career building activity, cross career options, jobs versus business, and then some final thoughts. Now, whichever degree you conclude or you go ahead, be it B.Pharm, M.Pharm, MBA, PharmD, PhD, or any medicine degree. So one say that he is an expert at that point in time. So, there's always a question mark. Education doesn't stop with one degree. So we cannot say that, I'm done with my MBA, I'm done with my PhD, PharmD. So you have to sharpen and you have to keep moving ahead. Are you cornering yourself? You need to, say that, with regards to education, can you say that this is the full stop and I'm no more going to take any degrees? So, you need to find it out on your own with the Google options or, now knowledge warehouse is available in the form of online portals. Your teachers are there. You have mentors. You need to find out what's best for you if you're confused. This is normally what we come across when we are moving ahead. Don't limit yourselves. Priorities versus passion. Never give up. Defining career goals. There are multiple questions when you're at a decision-making stage. For pharmaceutical industry, you all know you had been studying discovery, development, medical affairs, commercials, regulatory, drug safety, marketing, sales. It all passes through different things. If you see the Indian pharmaceutical market growth, I'm going to spend just 10 to 15 seconds on one slide and quickly move ahead. Now, the way it has grown in last 15, 20 years, the revenue potential, the market expansion, and the export growth, we are actually leader, either surpassing China at some places or equivalent to China when we talk about these activities. So, is my screen visible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
1 second. Huh? It was not visible to me. 1 second.
Yes, sir.
1 second.
Visible.
I just got a call and it switched off. Okay. So if you see the growth factor, 2020. So with every passing 5 years, it has gone up. If you see the export growth, every second year or every fifth year, India has given a tremendous rise, whatever exports we are doing in pharma, biopharma, medical devices, and nutraceutical. In the market expansion, the way it has happened in last 20 years time, 5 years gap, if you see. So whenever you see an industry growing, you have job opportunities created in there. Now, drug industry revenue, if you see how it has grown as per the data which ended in 2020 available to us, 5.1% growth which has happened. And then this is the published data. So if you see after automobile industry, the next big industry which is growing rampantly is the pharmaceutical industry. So you can break pharmaceutical industry into your R&D, injectables, OSDs, biopharmaceuticals, biosimilars, biotechnology products and all. But couple it up or put it in one bucket. If you see healthcare industry as such, with different stakeholders in it, everybody is growing every 5 years plan. If you see emerging new markets, so India is not limited to manufacture the product and sell it within India. All top 10 Indian companies, top 10 MNCs which are operating out of India through their manufacturing bases or back-end offices, they're actually using India as a powerhouse to cater to the emerging markets. So growth in spend, if you see for the pharmaceutical industry, is 50%, and it is growing at the CAGR of the emerging new markets, which is BRICS, that is Africa, Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. If you bird's eye view, if you talk about these markets, the pharma industry is tremendously growing. Mergers and acquisition. One more trend we need to consider. Last 10 years, if you look back, you might have seen that, all the second in line companies have been acquired by the top 5, top 10 companies which are running the global pharma businesses. So there's a prediction that in next 10 to 15 or 20 years time, you might not have 10, 20 or 50 companies. They all will be eaten up by the big fishes. And we will have 5 or 10 big pharma companies which are controlling the whole pharmaceutical industry across globe. Shift to specialty drug. Now, what has happened in last 15, 20 years that from the typical chemical entity drugs, all the therapeutic areas, we have moved on to the specialty drug, like the one which we are talking today, biopharmaceutical industry or biosimilars or your biologics. Small molecule population in large population, we have moved to biologics in small populations and then now to biologics in large population. Biosimilars or biologics are touching the all common diseases, not limited only to your oncology or niche product. There are no more niche products. There would be a time that they'll be part of our routine medications in next 10 years time. Now, 2.6 billion cost to bring one prescription drug in the market today. I think this is 3 years back what we have seen. Post-COVID, it might have shot up. So it still would be flexible of a few millions here and there, but that is the cost needed to bring one product into the market. Now, the patent clock, in last 5 years, most of the big blockbuster drugs have got off patented. name it the owned by Abbott and AbbVie, or the one owned by Pfizer, or Lipitor, or any other drugs you could talk of. Now, what does that mean? It opens the product for non-patented or the generic market. Now, we hardly have any patented products now, which are so-called blockbusters. So the markets are open for the emerging new countries like India, China, Bangladesh, to name a few, to enter into the huge generic market and cater to the whole globe. Planning for failure. Now, at what stage is this failure? Why am I sharing these slides? Just to give a feedback that what are the trends and what are the factors which we need to consider when we make a career decision. Clinical trial success rate. If you see the phases, it fails. Phase 1 to phase 2, 64% of the products fail. Phase 2, phase 3, 32% fail. And phase 3 to new drug application, 60% of them fail. Why am I sharing this? Because to justify the cost which we have mentioned to bring one product into the market. Now, what is happening to reduce this? Innovative trial designs. One big example of this is the COVID vaccine, which has been launched last year. Now, it has never happened that in 6 months or 1 year's time, you would have had a new product which have been launched in the market. The standard time taken to bring a product out of 10,000 products evaluated or researched, only 1 or 2 hit the market, and with the expenses of 2.6 billion. And the failures which we have seen at different trial stages. What is happening? All the pharma companies or tech companies now are working on newer trial designs so as to reduce the time to bring the product in the market, reduce the cost and reduce the resources. So adaptive trial designs, basket trials, umbrella trials. So one of such modalities have been followed to use and to bring the fastest vaccine into the market, be it Pfizer, Moderna, your AstraZeneca or Serum Institute or Zydus. Within 1 year, we have had 5 to 6. India is amongst few countries which has indigenously developed not 1, not 2, but 3 vaccines, and have currently got availability of 4 to 5 vaccines in our country. Higher FDA approval rate, not only for US, outside, wherever there are stringent guidelines. Last 10 years, there are multiple factors which have pushed for faster approval of the drugs, which used to take years time initially to get the drug approved in the market. Brand importance. Now, what has happened is that if you see the unbranded and branded generic markets for US prescriptions, it's almost 88% for the unbranded products. And for branded drugs, it is 12%. And for the US sales, if you see, the 20% market is for unbranded generics, and the branded is almost for 72% of it. So it gives you an idea how is the market distributed between branded and unbranded products. So branded means a brand which is manufacturing the product, a brand of the product which is well known with the end users, with the KOLs. That is how the market has been distributed. Innovative example, just a quick example, how the hepatitis market has evolved from multiple products to longer therapies to, rather than bulk of products, you go to only one tablet for a shorter therapy. The way it has evolved in tuberculosis, same way it has evolved for hepatitis also. So just the cost factor, how it has gone up. So sometimes it has happened, the market is absolutely flexible. From 10 tablets for one treatment, we have come down to 1 or 2 tablets for the same treatment. For 10 tablets, 10 months, we have come down to 2 tablets for 1 or 2 months. And the cost factors have from, say, $100 have come down to $10, or sometimes $10 have gone to $100. So it depends on which market the product is being sold out and marketed. Now, what are the factors which are pushing them to change? The political pressures, yes, for sure. Which country you operate, what are the regulatory norms, what are the pricing norms? Based on that, the approval rates also change. So political pressure definitely makes an impact. Faster approvals, yes. Nowadays, most of the countries go for it. Vaccine is the best example of it. Adherence to all the guidances and compliance and outcome-based pricing. Now, some key trends in the global healthcare industry just before COVID, what we have seen: value-based care, artificial intelligence, digital health. I think one of the speakers have just spoken about it. Then the Asia is the new hub for local innovations. Healthcare data analytics is been making a lot of impact in the pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical industry. Healthcare will be a dominant vertical in the voice applications. Blockchain moves from hype to reality. There was a time that everybody was talking, oh, what is blockchain? What is it going to do? And now it is a part of real world. And it will also be part of day-to-day commercials. innovative private insurance models are shaking up the healthcare industry, even in countries like India, to be more lucrative for patients. Some of the sector snapshots, how it is working. I just wanted to share the expenses are happening in the market, Make in India, FDI in pharma, incentives to sector. Last 7-8 years, a lot of expenses, policy changes have happened in India, which are favoring the pharmaceutical industry in a big way. Top 10, top 5 companies, if you see, they keep changing, but the names would be same, at least 80 to 90%, Roche, Pfizer, AbbVie, J&J, Sanofi, Merck, Novartis, Gilead, GSK, and Amgen. They're the multinational companies where one would like to have the career. Global pharmaceutical industry, a lot has been spoken, but I would not spend time on it. The distribution, if you see, Europe covers the 40% of the biopharmaceutical global market, 45% is US. Rest of the world is 5%, Asia is 10% of the market. And what do they cover? Vaccines is 10%, insulins is 6.5, monoclonal antibodies is almost 49 to 50, and 34% is recombinant proteins. Now, market focus. Why are we talking about this market? As such now, it's a highly aggressive market. Biopharmaceutical has grown exponentially in last 10 years. Enormous investments on the pharma side, on the political pressure side, and from the government sides are happening. There's a heavy pipeline of the product. If you just Google and search the biopharmaceutical market, you'll find it out. Potential blockbusters are currently lying into the pipeline, or they are currently available in the market, and covers all key therapeutic areas. Now is the time that biopharmaceutical products are covering almost all the key therapeutic areas. Career options, I think, if you see, now after the industry, next 5 slides or 10 slides, I will just have something to inform you what the industry feedback is. So when you check with the students, what do they want to do with the career? If you check the feedback, 28% are not sure what do they want to do at the student's age. Then 35% know that what do they want to do, and 37% absolutely don't know that what do they want to do in the career. Now, if you ask a fresh pass out, 23% are not sure what do they want to do, 49% say they yes, they know what they have to do with their life, and 28% say no, we don't know what do we have to do with it. Not even unsure, but they don't know at all. And then which streams they want to pick up? Yes, some would say that I want to go into research in my field. I want to do something like into finance or marketing. This one group which says, and a lot of them also even say that they want to go into digital health information technology and all. Now, eligibility criteria, I will just skip this slide. Skip this also. What are the areas of opportunities for us when you jump out? Career prospects. So academics, clinical research, drug development, pharmaceutical marketing, medical writing, quality control, hospital, a big way. Corporate hospitals are coming up across India, because even now also number of doctors per number of patients, the data is still skewed in India. We are still lying 1:700. That is what we are seeing. Every doctor or every hospital would like to set up in the tier 1 or tier 2 cities. Nobody wants to go beyond urban areas. Salaries, you all know, but still I would just throw a number that when you go jump out, it will not be beyond 20 to 25,000. I think there'll be very few who jump to 50 as such. So, if you are exceptionally smart or you have some experience, the average can still go up to 35 or 40. The medical and clinical professional, I think I'll just skip it because not for this population it is. I'll just skip this. Now, how has the influence on the pharmaceutical market has changed 10 years back to now? If you see in last 10 years, initially it was regulators, allied health, HCPs, and doctors who were controlling. Now you have policymakers. You have patients also, patient groups, which actually strategize the drug pricing, the policies, and both the stakeholders, the manufacturers as well as the government policymakers. And now also we have another party which comes into play is payers. Who's paying? If it's an insurers, if it is out of the pocket, or if it's government which is paying for you. Then medical affairs, I will just skip this slide. I'll skip this. Now, the key soft skills, 2 slides, and I will close it. Now, communication, yes, for sure. You're a student, you're a graduate, you're an early entrant. Verbal written communication is key to success. It must have been told, or puppeted out of your mouth, but there is no way out. It has to be there. technology upgradation. My friend just spoke about it just before me. I think he has already given a brief or a detailed discussion on this. Mentorship for sure. So many teachers are there with you on this platform who will be handholding you for some time when you enter into the industry. But yes, at all phases in your life, you need a mentor. Constant learning, never stop learning. A degree or the job specific trainings are always must. Industry connects, start connecting with your industry stakeholders, your immediate friends who are into industry, their superiors, because they help you to refine your career ladder, get the interviews connected, and sail through your interview process and get through the job. Emailing skills, I don't know if we are actually talking about it at this level in the colleges or when you pass out, but yes, a key part of your communication is written communication via emails, because I have seen pathetic emails during my 20-22 years of career, even from a guy who's 10 years old in the industry. Humbleness, agility, your behavioral aspect, and also to control your peer pressures and stress in work. You have to start at the early age so that you are effectively managing the stage. Where do I search? I think you all know it. Mentor, why, who, role of a mentor, professional advantages. You need to find out. This is not a platform. We have a very short time. Job versus career. These are the two key things. That whether you want to build a career or you just want to have a job in hand. And this is a topic I would leave with a question mark to you. Final thoughts. You have an applicable qualification right now in your hand, but don't stop. Keep pursuing additional courses. Must have a very good CVs and bio sketches. Best use of your search engines like job portals, LinkedIn, Industry Connects. Right blend of attitude, focus career plan, and thrive for experience and knowledge, and not for money in the initial phase. Because if you run for money, you might get bracketed or have a window approach in your career. Now we are offering through Renovare. I work in the medical marketing domain. I have my own venture. I worked in the industry for almost 18 to 20 years. 2 years back, I have started this. I have 2 small companies. I have a medical marketing venture in which I give industry internship. So we give it mainly in medical marketing, 3 months, paid, unpaid, both the options available, physical, digital. Because of COVID, 9 to 6 as well as field work is needed. On-job trainings are given. Industry connects. We make you travel and meet various fellows, online or physical. We ensure there's a skill set enhancement. We train you on interview process, and we give you a certificate in the end. So connect if you are interested in internship. You can directly connect with me. You can drop a note to Dr. Rashmi. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sakaram, for your valuable thoughts. I would now like to introduce to you our next guest, Mr. Manohar Karate. He is currently a business head and associated with Assure Pharmaceutical Private Limited. He has roughly 25 years of experience. Prior to that, he had worked with Indico Remedies Limited, Alchem Lab, Rina Exports in various business segments like ethical marketing institution, corporate exports, etc. I welcome you, Mr. Manohar. I would request Mr. Manohar to kindly address the participants.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Sapna, 1 second, Manor.
Yes,
Sapna,
sir.
can you mute everybody? There's a lot of disturbance coming in.
Yeah, very true, sir. In between, a lot of noises are coming.
Yeah. Sapna, can you mute everybody, please?
Yes, sir, yes.
Can I start? Hello?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Rashmi madam. In fact, I'll say this is the second time I'm now associating with DY Patil, because the earlier, if I remember correctly, is 2 years back when I was there at DY Patil, when I conducted some of the interviews for the MBA pharmaceutical students. And glad to share with you that one of our candidate was selected for a company called Rena Exports. If I correct his name, I think Mr. Tiwari. So this is, I think, second time I'm associating with DY Patil. and especially on this webinar, where the webinar is especially talks about the emerging and the various developments, upcoming developments in biopharmaceuticals. A lot of things have been already discussed, and very much has been already covered. So while listening to the earlier speakers, I skipped out my most of the data, and a few of the slides which are left, which I feel are still relevant to talk with people. We talked about how the digital platform is going to help in upcoming years when it comes to the biopharmaceuticals. And in last speakers, we have heard about overall scenario about the pharma industry and how the things are. But basically, I understood this that some of the students are been also must be hearing out this along with the professionals. So what I really feel relevant is that to start from the zero is that now you are in the say a student stage, and from student stage now you are going to out from the by passing your degree, and now you will search for the jobs. So first thing, when we talks about the for biopharmaceuticals, currently we are having in India a general therapeutic pharmaceutical market. That is the one thing, and the new upcoming which has developed from last say last 20-22 years is that is the biopharmaceuticals. Uh, Actually, I'm facing some issues to share my screen. No issue, I'll manage. Okay, so what I want to start with is that the difference in between the current pharmaceutical regular traditional pharma, I will say, and the biopharmaceuticals. The primary difference between the biopharma and the traditional pharma is the method by which the drugs are being produced. This is the main difference, because see, when we think about a job career, when we think about the opportunities, when we think about the our goal, we should know that where we want to work. Today we are discussing about the biopharmaceutical. Day may come that we will think about the traditional pharmaceutical, what is happening in traditional pharmaceutical, then what is happening in international market, what is happening in emerging market. But now today's topic, when I stick to, we are talking about what is going to be happening in biopharmaceuticals. So let us understand what is biopharmaceutical and the difference in between the biopharmaceutical and the traditional pharmaceutical. So the biopharmaceuticals and the traditional pharmaceuticals, the main difference is that the method by which the drug is being produced. And it has been seen that most of the cases currently, the biopharmaceuticals products which are available, they are available to treat mostly the autoimmune disease. Because and when it talks about the biopharmaceutical product is one thing, and the biopharmaceutics is the another thing. Biopharmaceuticals we talk about, that talks about the study of the physical and the chemical properties of the drug, and their proper dosage as related to onset of the action and the intensity of the drug action, showing by advanced technology. Advanced technology is the one thing which is going to come up very fastly in biosimilar. You are seeing that they are so advanced, they are so fast that you are eyewitness that how fastly the vaccines have been produced. So that is one of the fast how biopharmaceutical product comes up. First, and just to share with you that the first biopharma product was approved for the human therapeutic use was it's like I think it's a recombinant human insulin, and that was in 1982. So currently, if you talks about the biopharmaceuticals which are available in India, that is around 350 biologics are available in India, which are in use to treat the various treatment. Again, now when you talk about the biopharmaceuticals, a regular therapeutic pharmaceutical, there is one more, is called biotechnology, right? So again, the biotechnology and the biopharmaceutical, there is a thin line in between, and that is the manufacturing method. The manufacturing method that makes a differentiate in between the biotechnology and the biopharmaceutical product. Biotech mainly focus on the products and the medicine founded on the basis of the biology, where the biopharmaceutical is a research focus on the medicine created through the chemical means. Hope you are getting me. That is, the biopharmaceuticals are the lab created medicines. In simple words, if I have to put about the biopharma products are manufactured in living organisms, including the white blood cells or bacteria, and the pharma products manufactured using by the chemical basis process. So I hope you understanding me. The biopharma products are being manufactured by using the living organisms, whereas the therapeutic regular pharma products are being manufactured by using the chemical based process. Now the biopharma product comes to the biopharma products again. It revolutionizes the world medicines and is saving the so many people every day who are especially suffering from the diseases like the cancer, diabetes, cardio, and other immune diseases. It's called an again lifestyle diseases. If currently you say that the earlier Dr. Sakaram has already shared that the time will come in another 15, 20 years that biosimilar products or the biopharmaceutical products are going to be used and each and everything like in acute conditions also you can have an biopharmaceutical product. But current as this juncture, if you see the use of biopharmaceutical products, so biopharmaceutical products currently are being using in the treatment for the patients who are suffering for the cancer, diabetes, and cardio conditions or other immune diseases, which are called to be a lifestyle diseases. Now, the important part is that biopharma drug is it provided the target treatment with the fewer side effects. If you want to again differentiate about the side effect of the product, as you all are aware that the current therapeutic pharma products which you are having, they have an effect, so they equally had a side effect also. Venus talks about steroid is a magic drug. You could have been observed that in while treating the patient for the COVID patient, doctors are rampantly use this methylprednisolone. One of an, a good steroid, a dangerous steroid. Good steroid, if you talk about, it gives an immediate onset of action result. But now, if you talk and if you have an relatives or patient nearby to you who has already consumed methylprednisolone like this drug, they are having now the other fewer side effects. Now they are suffering from the headache, they are suffering from the diarrhea, they are suffering from the dysentery. So these are all the things which are been associated with the regular therapeutic pharma drugs. So the importance of the biopharma products is that it has a targeted treatment with the very fewer side effects, and that is how the biopharmaceutical products are getting an edge over the traditional pharmaceutical products. If you talk about the India and if you talk about the rest of the world, frankly speaking, rest of the world, the companies who are the MNCs company, they have always an edge in biopharmaceutical. For that matter, even if you see any good product, any patented product, any new revolutionary treatment method is been introduced that has been most of the time introduced by the MNCs company. And as Dr. Sakaram said, that they have got some patent over it. Over the time of period, once the patent released, then it has been rampantly used across the world and in India too. If you talk, and since we are in India, and now you all the viewers who have been listening to me, they are going to have first job in India. Some of them may have abroad, but we have to think about India perspective. So if we talk about the biopharmaceutical company which are available in India, are like your Biocon and the major company. You have Dr. Reddy's. Also, we have Pfizer who works into that. The another thing which I would like to share with you is that about the biopharma companies. Biopharma companies can make the drugs from the biological components of substances known as biologics that includes the sugar, protein, nucleic acid, and DNA and RNA. So it is not a synthetic, but it is been prepared with the living drug. I was talking about the companies which are available in India who works more of on the biosimilar or who works upon the biopharmaceutical product. One of the company which is nearer to us, there in Pune based, that company is called Genome Bio. Just to share, I am highlighting this company. Why? Because you people must be searching for the job after some time after getting passed out. So this is the one company where you can get an earlier entry. It's a newer upcoming company. The name of the company Genome Bio is a Pune based company, and what they do is that it's a biopharma drugs company. They come from the recombinant proteins. What they deliver, how they prepare the things is that the biopharma drugs come from the recombinant proteins, which are a special protein that contains the genes manipulated by scientists. The doctors who are working over there in Genome Bio, what they do is that they work on the genes. What they do that they changes the cause the protein to act in certain way. They work on genes means what? What they do is that the changes what they do with the genes, which through which that the protein to act in certain way, so as the models of the disease gets changed. Now, who are going to get entry into these companies. Now, since I hope the who are listeners who are having, they must be our M Pharma, or they must be B Pharma, or they must be PhD people. What I observed being a business head and worked in the various companies, and when I used to sit with the HR people, while the selection for the biopharmaceutical or for the selection for the R&D or the selection for the F&D, they mostly look for the M Pharma people, MSc people, or the PhD people who do it in chemistry. Chemistry is the main subject where they have a placement. Again, the post which they look for is the product development executive. I'm telling you a pinpointed the what I'm saying and post. If you can go through the various websites of the company, they will always have a career blog where you can find out that they are having vacancies for so thing. So sometimes you may get confused that the product development executive, it doesn't mean that you are going for the brand manager or you are going for in marketing. This product development executive, in bracket they mention R&D and F&D. F&D, that is formulation and development, means they are looking for a person in biopharmaceutical to for the department formulation and the development. That is the development of the biopharmaceutical product, and subsequently in R&D, that is research and development. If you talk about the biopharmaceutical market size, 2 years back, it is 325 USD billion, which is expected to grow with the CAGR of 7.32% by 2026. This will show the promising picture for the biopharmaceutical. First time when Rashmi Madam has shared with me that the topic is on biopharmaceutical, I thought for a while and I said that why talking about more of biopharmaceutical and not about the bigger industry which is already existing. The bigger traditional pharmaceutical industry is already there, but looking at the newer prospect, looking at the opportunity, looking at what is going to be happening in upcoming 20 years, as you are seeing that the more larger types are going to be happen, and the small mushroom companies, they are going to be wind up. It's going to be a giant companies, hardly a 10, 12, 15 companies which are going to rule the pharma market. In such scenario, looking in the prospect of 15, 20 years, what is there for you, which you can opt for today, and that will serve you for the next 20, 25 years, that is nothing but the biopharmaceuticals. And biopharmaceutical is the field where you can have an edge, you can always have a requirement, and once you got a job, the things can be subsequently followed. This is a highly promising industry. It will require a highly qualified professional, that is also equally right, which offer the best of the salary compared to the traditional pharma working in the R&D. But the thing is that development and product is not an 1 and 2 month job. Development and the biopharmaceutical product is a long run work where you have to work for a long time. One thing, before I close my this session, the Gopal sir is talked about the two things when he has said that when he was in US, that people are very much hardworking. They recognize us as the Indians are been very hardworking, but where they are lacking is that the 2 points which sir has highlighted, that is critical thinking and the problem solving. Sir, I'd like to just share with you, being a business head of the company, whenever I select a manager, these are the two things which we really look for, that what is your behavior, what is your attitude when it comes to the critical thinking. How far you can perform during the critical situation, and how best you are in problem solving. So as you are nail hit, yes, sir, perfectly your talk with the students and with the other professionals, that these are the two things. It's not only about pharmaceutical company, but we even when in day-to-day basis, when we talk about in day-to-day any field for the it's a education, it's a pharmaceutical, it's a consumer, anywhere, whenever you work, these two things are always been important. That is critical thinking and problem solving. The another thing which I would like to just to share with all the students, if they are listening to me, one thing is that in pharmaceutical industry, nothing comes easily. You have to work for it. You have to prove for it. I have started my career in the pharmaceutical industry as a medical representative. From medical representative, I worked in last 25 years on different 12 posts. And then I am working with the post of business head. So as Gopal sir has rightly said, in pharmaceutical industry, if you have to really understand the pharmaceutical industry, if you have to really explore in the pharmaceutical industry, you have to work in the field at least for 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. The early you grasp the thing, the early you can come out of the field. But working in a field is the one thing which will really makes you understand what is pharmaceutical field. Then biopharmaceutical, therapeutic pharmaceutical, the genes, the medicine, and all everything that will follow. But the first and foremost thing is the pharmacy. First and foremost thing is the pharmaceutical industry. Let us understand the pharmaceutical industry, and before putting our expectation in front of the employer, first let us prove our candidature. This is the one lacuna which I always talks about whenever I go for the as a speaker, and when I talk about that what people should do, what students should do when they approach for a new job, for the fresher job. Most of the time it happens that when people has an M.Com degree or the MBA degree, they always have in mind that the first start should be like a big start. But don't run behind the big start. The more bigger company you go, the lesser knowledge you will get. This is what is my experience is. People may differ with my experience, people may differ with my opinion, but this is my opinion that the smaller company you get, the more things you will learn. First, learn the things. First 2, 3 years is of learning. After learning, over the time of period, prove your candidature, and definitely employer will take care of you. So this is what the message I want to give to all the students, that first prove your candidature. And talking about, and today's topic is the best of the topic which the management has been called for, that is the development in biopharmaceutical, because this is one of the leading and upcoming field of pharmaceutical industry where the people will definitely have an edge. Work for it, go for it. And once again, I like to appreciate DY Patel management by calling speakers and sharing our views with your students. And if anything, any questions are there, we are always there. Even for that matter, post webinar, if anybody from DY Patil, any student, any teacher, any faculty wants to have any support from my side, I'm always there. So this is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manohar, for your valuable thoughts. I would now like to introduce to you our first alumni, Ms. Pratibha. She has done MBA in pharmaceutical management. She's currently a senior project manager with more than 11 years of expertise in sales and marketing and the ability to oversee a team of 9 employees. With a strong growth attitude and spanning with a wide range of healthcare industries, including medical equipment and pharmaceuticals. Her core competencies are market research, forecasting, market strategy creation, execution, budgeting and profit and loss management, project management, multi-channel marketing, improvising on market share and steady rate of interest, product launch and relaunches. She's currently associated with the Teleflex Medical as a senior product manager, and prior to that, she was associated with Zydus Sedla Healthcare, Mumbai, India. She has certain certificate courses also she had done certifications in counter-innovative leadership strategies for a VUCA environment linked in learning. She has also done many diploma courses. One of them are project management and LSN license, market foundation, etc. I welcome you, Ms. Pratibha. I would request Ms. Pratibha to kindly address the participants.
Thank you, Sapna Suri ma'am. First of all, I am quite elated, and I'm very happy to be part of this program. As being an alumni and being appreciated a lot by my own fellow professors, who had a significant role in what I am today. So first of all, thank you to all of you for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, Gopal sir. Thank you, Sapna ma'am, Rashmi ma'am, Veena ma'am, Vani ma'am, and Priya ma'am. So I'm heartfelt, happy to see that all the professors who taught me back then are still here, and these are one of the wonderful professors I had. So yes, so I would like to share my screen before I start my presentation. Uh, so I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Perfect. So before I start, I would like to, say, or I would like to express my perspective, my thoughts about how the healthcare industry has been, yesterday, how it is today, and how it is going to be tomorrow. Before I start with it, I would like to mention a small story, that's my story. So my story, I would say, with respect to the industry where I am today, started, back in 2007. When the global recession struck. So it struck in 2007. I completed my BSc microbiology then, and I was all set to go ahead with my master's degree in genetics. So I was a very avid reader when it comes to genetics, and I was very much inclined towards that subject. And I decided that I'll go ahead with MSc by research, and that enticed me always, and I was always inclined. But then 2007 came, and I saw the global recession. A lot of jobs going off, the pressures in all the industry, the layoffs happening. Uh, you know, uh, there was a havoc in all the industries, and that's where I would say a great piece of advice which was given by my uncle, whom I admire today as well, was what do you think? Going ahead with an MSc and then doing a PhD, looking into the environment where it's quietly fragile, it's extremely fragile, and where should we land? Do we get a job in this scenario? The entire industry is lull. There's no job. So yeah, so that's where it struck, and I decided to do something which can be evergreen, to do something which will be always there for me, opening its arm, and calling me for all the job opportunities which I would always want. So that's where I browsed. I searched a lot, and I did a lot of desktop work, a desktop search, and then I got to know about MBA in healthcare management, pharmaceutical management, and biotech management, which was booming extremely in the Western world. Yet it was quite slow back then. So as you can see in my first slide, so I am from the batch 2008 and 10, which was the second batch of Devi Patil, and I'm a proud alumni of that. So I would say back then, when I did this desktop search, I realized that this management, the perfect, the management with a healthcare taste to it is what actually I should go ahead with. Because business, yes, business is all around. Business is all around. The world runs with business. But what about pharmaceutical business, where the business acumen is quite different? It's not as equal or as same as how the business runs in a normal industry, or I would say a from an FMCG industry, an OTC industry. There are so many industries, but they all have one thing in common, that they go to the mass, they go to those to entice them for their products. But here in healthcare industry, we don't entice our consumers. We have to convince our customers, and they are the healthcare professionals. So that's where the marketing, when it comes to, or I would say the entire business when it comes to healthcare industry, completely changes, completely. And that made me realize that that's where I need to do my career. That's where I need to start focusing on. And then I joined Devi Patil in 2008 as an MBA in pharma management. And trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy because you are in recession. 2007 it was struck, so I took an year time to understand. And 2008 I started with my curriculum. And you will not believe. So 2010, when it was my, placement time, I guess the entire, the entire country was searching for jobs, but there were a lot of job openings in pharma industries, a lot of job openings, which was amazing. I mean, that's how I got my first job in Ranbaxy. There was huge, expansion which was happening in Ranbaxy then, which is now acquired by Sun Pharma, and that's where I started my career. So if I had to say how my career progressed, so with Ranbaxy, and of course, as rightly mentioned by Mr. Sakharam and also our previous, speaker, that it all starts with ground level. So even I started with my ground level. I had, started into sales, where I worked into sales for 2.5 years. But of course, my interest lied always in marketing, and that's where I changed my, my field with a good understanding of market, with a strong base in the sales. That's where you groom yourself to get into marketing, if you want to be into marketing. I mean, there are so many other fields when you come to pharma management, which you can opt for, but my personal interest was always into marketing. So yes, that's how I started my journey with Ranbaxy, and then with Zydus Cadila. So Zydus Cadila was the place, where I spent my initial maximum time of my marketing, which was almost 3.5 years. And I learned a lot there. I learned a lot there, how marketing is, how marketing tactics is. And you'll not believe what I learned, during my curriculum in DY Patil, especially those, biotech analytics, there were so many different, subjects which were inclined towards pharmaceutical, which helped me a lot in gaining expertise in marketing in pharmaceutical industry. So I started with pharmaceutical industry in Zydus 3.5 years, and then I moved on to the next role in Teleflex Medical, where I am now since last 5 years, where I progressed into senior product manager, and I handle almost half of the APAC region into marketing, so which is known as Indian subcontinent. So the journey has been quite difficult. I would not say it's not an easy way to get into what you want. You have to fight a lot, and you have to fight at every stage. Not me, I guess every one of us has fought a lot to come here where we are today. And I believe, if you'll see the Darwin's theory, since I'm from the science background, I would have a lot of theories into my stories rather than a quote. So there is always the fittest who survives, and if you are fit for the market, if you are fit for your environment, that's where you're gonna survive. And it's you who knows whether you are fit for it or not, because it's you who has to choose what you want to do or you won't. So yes, that's all my story, and that's how I feel the opportunity, the plethora of opportunity which healthcare industry brings. I wanted to just highlight few things. I'm not a person who gives a lot of uh, presentations. I mean, I speak more of I believe in more of interaction. I believe in more of convictions which I can bring to people. So my slides would not be that busy, it would not be that elaborate, except for the initial two slides, because yeah, that is more of a market slide. But yes, I would like to share lights, especially I would like to start sharing some light about how the healthcare market is. So firstly, if you see the healthcare market in this COVID, so I guess my friend Kunal has also mentioned, and every speaker prior to me mentioned about how COVID has exponentially changed the entire dynamics of healthcare industry. So I guess I have been, I would not say lucky, because I would not want everyone to have this experience. Initial of my career, it was a recession struck, and then when I'm at peak of my career, it is pandemic struck. So it's quite challenging, but then it gave me a lot of experience about how things are when you are into a VUCA environment. So yes, as ma'am said, I'm a person who believes in upgrading myself every time I get it. And I guess Dr. Salunke also said that the best way to be in pace with the industry is to keep upgrading yourself. So I believe in that. I strongly believe in that. So yes, so while understanding about this VUCA environment, I guess it was one of the best thing which I could understand when I was in the pandemic situation, and at the same time when I was into a global recession time. So what I could see was this pandemic was quite positive, in terms of healthcare. And of course, even long back, the recession was also quite positive, because only one industry which was growing in that recession was healthcare industry. Isn't it interesting? And quite amazing. And I'm lucky to be with that industry, of course. Again, coming here to the other industry, which other hit which we got was pandemic hit because of COVID. Again, if you'll see, I'll just give you a snapshot. In this 2 years, the industry grew by threefold. Can you imagine? Threefold, three times of what it was. That's phenomenal increment. And not only that, it is expected by 2022 it will further increase by further increase by 372 billions. So there is a strong demand in the market, attractive opportunities. Now, why the opportunities are attractive? Firstly, the government itself is supporting the healthcare industry. If you'll see the GDP, they are spending 3% of their GDP, 3% of their GDP extra on healthcare industry. This is a big thing when even the government wants to support the healthcare industry. Now, the most important thing, raising the manpower. What, in the healthcare industry, what I could understand is, though there are a lot of vacancies in healthcare industry, the the people, the right people which the industry needs are very less. You'll find many people who have good experience, everything, but the right mixture of business and healthcare is very less. So there is a large pull of well trained medical professionals required, medical business professionals which is required in today's time. And so many policies have been launched by government, which is supporting the healthcare industry. So this gives it more, I guess these are the pillars which I can say to build a revamped healthcare industry going forward. I guess I can see that coming up next 5 years itself. So next, I would like to say is, how big is the Indian healthcare industry? And I don't want to take it in very much detail, because I guess all my colleagues friends who were speaking earlier were able to tell about how big is the Indian. Please mute it if anyone is unmute. That's actually bothering. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, thank you. So yeah, so coming to the healthcare industry, I would say, as I've already spoken a lot about healthcare industry and how it is important for us to be in pace of that industry. This is just a split of the industries, how the healthcare industry is split. 71% of which is a diagnostic industry. Pharmaceutical contributes to 13% of it. The most growing industry at this moment is the medical device industry, which is the 9%. That's where I am right now. So I do have a pharmaceutical industry experience back then when I was in Zydus, Cadila, and Ranbaxy. Now I am totally into medical devices. So I thought of putting some inputs about medical devices, as well as, many, very, very less people know about this industry and how progressive this industry is. And I would say, you will not believe, India has been amongst top 20 countries which is in radar of almost all the global companies when it comes to device market. And not only that, it ranks amongst, in Asia Pac, it ranks 4, after Japan, China, and South Korea. We rank number 4 when it comes to the market and the scope of the market when it comes to medical device industry. Now, yes, is the pandemic accelerating the digital disruption? Yes, of course. So I would like to tell you how the pandemic has accelerated the disruption. if I have to explain you how difficult it was for every one of us to have a pace with why digitalization was required, how immediately the digitalization was must when the new norm was set, and in this new norm everyone was supposed to be at home. I mean, it's almost more than a year we all are at home. We don't know how the customers are doing there, how the custom what the customer wants, I mean, how to get with them. And actually this pandemic helped us understand the 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 complete next level of horizon, where actually a digitalization can be completely disrupted. So why it is said digital disruption? Because that's the level of digitalization which was happening, or which is happening in pandemic. And so when it comes to consultation, everything, so I guess my friend has already included a lot of good points. Kunal has already included a lot of good point about how digitalization has happened, how is it impacting everywhere. So I would also like to give some examples, like Practo, and many other such kind of online consultation companies which has been launched. Not only that, there are digital this is about not only digital. So I think the best way to explain would be digital disruption is not just virtualization. It is also about how digitally catering different businesses. And in healthcare industry also, be it diagnostic business, it has all come to an app. There are several apps now available. You have to just download app, click in, book your appointment, and a person will be at your home to do the entire diagnostic test of yours. Same is with the consultation. You just have to log in Practo, go there, you log in, have your timing set, and you are all through for your appointment. That's it. Now when it comes to a surgery, now you remember the surgeries earlier used to be, I mean, it's of course surgery has to be in operation theater, but today, although the surgeries are happening in operation theater, because of the disruption which has happened, the AI based devices has launched in India. There is a huge inflow of innovative medical devices which are more AI based has been introduced. So I know about this because we are going to launch soon a device which is for respiratory. So I take care of anesthesia, respiratory, urology, and emergency medicine business. Okay, so in emergency medicine and also in urology, so we are going to come up with a great AI based technology for prostate cancer and many other things. So this shows that how fast AI is also getting incorporated. Now why AI has accelerated in this pandemic time? AI has accelerated in this pandemic time because uh, you know uh, there is no time left for a clinician to do an operation, because most of the time it's infection which they have to control, right? It's a life which they have to save for COVID. Then what about the people who are suffering from cancer? What about the people who are suffering from a lot of disease around us? They need surgeries, they need immediate attention, interventions. So that's where AI came into the picture. It helps in predicting or understanding the surgical intervention well in advance, and then you come to know how better you can postpone it, or how fast you can do the procedure. And that's how today doctors are preference the preference is given based on that. Doctors are preferring arranging, or I would say reorganizing their surgeries based on the priority, and that priority is done with the help of AI technology. Now you would think that it's all doctors, it's all healthcare professionals. Where do we land? Where is the management coming into the picture? So the management coming in the picture is to let them know what is AI. Today, I don't think any surgeon has thought about what exactly AI based devices are. I don't think anyone knows, in the medical fraternity, that how biosimilars or how robotic medicines are been developed and how do they work. It's we, right? We are the face of the entire transformation happening, and we are the one who has to bring it to those doctors, bring it to those clinicians, at their foot place. So that's where the importance of understanding pharma and healthcare industry, and the entire healthcare industry is important, because if you don't understand what exactly the industry is, how would you satisfy your customer, and how would you help your customer understand where exactly they need this? They there is there are two things: what people want and what is their need. Okay, doctors know what they want, but how to fulfill their needs, they are still unknown about that. And that's where you know we make a we play a very crucial role. And that's where I believe that having an understanding of management plus biopharmaceutical is very important when you really want to make your career in healthcare industry. And I think I don't have to say a lot about why healthcare industry, because I think it speaks on its own, that how lucrative, how beautiful, how uh, you know how uh, how uh, how good it is. Because end of the day, I feel that I am giving back to the society as well with my work, which I could have never been able to do with any of the professions. And I am a very much socially inclined person. So I believe a lot in giving back to the society, and that was another reason why I ended up in this industry, and never wanted to switch from this industry. So the digital disruption has happened to every level, to every stage, and that is only possible to understand when you are in a healthcare industry, or when you know a healthcare industry better. And who can give a better knowledge of an healthcare industry, if like people like us, who has known about this, who has understood about this. Now, coming to a short, survey which was done by McKinsey. So this survey actually was done, and they actually mentioned that average, share of customers interaction digitally, how it was improved dramatically in last 5 years. So where in 2017 it was only to 20% globally, it reached to 58%. It's a huge jump. It is more than threefold jump. So you can imagine how fast it has grown in just 2 years. Coming to the products and the services which got digitalized. This is very important slide, because this will give us an idea how fast products and services has been digitalized even in healthcare industry. And that's where we need to understand the current need of the healthcare industry. So of course, in last 7 years, where it was 29%, the entire digitalization of the products and services has gone up to 55%, which is again two folds. So lastly, I would say there are so many things when it comes to digital and AI based. But few things which healthcare industry has always has accepted, very swiftly, is the machine learning and AI based marketing. So you would be amazed to know that now marketing even is shifting towards AI based marketing. AI based devices are being developed, AI based techniques have been developed, services and products, everything is going AI based. So I guess last year was the year of only digitalization. This year is the year where digitalization is upgrading into AI based, machine learning, AI based, artificial intelligence. That's the new digitalization which is happening. And I'm sure it is going to further disrupt more and more, and which would require professionals who are very smart, not only in their in understanding the business, but also understanding the therapy, the healthcare industry. And I think people like us, I can be fortunate enough to contribute in these kind of in these kind of requirements. Now, what makes MBA in pharma and biotech management unique? Firstly, I already discussed, the first thing is how lucrative the market is and the demand. People still need good professionals who know better understanding of business, AI and digital based understanding, and at the same time, they know the product. Imagine a person who has never been into science field and he is been told to sell a product. How will he understand what exactly is the nitty gritty of the product? No, he cannot. He can never, until and unless he is gone through those grinding of what exactly is pharmaceutical, what exactly is biotech. So that's the importance of MBA for people like us who are science graduates. Firstly, secondly, as I told you, there is a lot of demand. We need good people who need to have this understanding. Thirdly, today there has been transformational changes, in digitalization, in the way the marketing is happening, in the way the training and development is happening, in the way the R&D is happening. So for all this, you need the upgraded management programs, the upgraded management programs which provides digital subjects, digitalization subjects, which provide AI subjects, which provides you to help about how IPR works, intellectual property rights works, how this helps in regulating the regulatory of India, how and what can be imported to India. So all these things are very important, and a normal management student would not understand that. It is only possible when you know what exactly is regulatory, what exactly is IPR about. So that's all what a person need when he is looking forward for a management program. And lastly, my last but the favorite slide of mine, that is, are you ready for these post digital era? Now, why did I say post digital era? Because the digital is fading away, the AI is now coming up. So we need to prepare ourselves with the AI, not the digital now. That's the next thing. That's the next 5 years goal, which everyone has to upgrade. And so, where are you going to implement your these post digital, or I would say these understanding about management and uh, science, the best amalgamation which you have? Firstly, into the marketing field. So there are several fields where you can explore these perfect combination, which is a dire need in these industries. R&D industries, they need people like this. Marketing, where I am from, and sales, where I was. So these are the three very common industries. Then comes the regulatory. So there has been a huge development in regulatory affairs department as well, a sector, a specialty itself. There people want people, those who know about IPRs, who know about FDA guidelines, who know about CE guidelines, that is the European guidelines. So they should know in their tip of tongue what exactly is it, so that they can manage the regulatory of a company, of a of a healthcare industry. So that's another field where people has huge opportunities. And lastly, the training and development. Yes, the training and development. Do you think this healthcare and pharmaceutical industry doesn't need a trainer? They do need a trainer. They need a trainer who understands the business. They need a trainer who understands the science as well. And that's where we play a role. So yes, these are the field where we feel that science and business together go hand in hand and can never be separated. They are inseparable. I guess that's all from my side. And any questions, please let me know. And I guess Rashmi ma'am, Sapna ma'am, Vani ma'am, they all are there, and they'll help you to get the understanding of, and they'll help you to get the answers, and they can anytime reach me out. That's all from my side. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Pratibha, for sharing your experience. I'll now introduce to you our second alumni for the day.
Sapna, sorry to interrupt you. Sapna,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. Ms. Mansi Sapre has left the meeting and she's expressed a sincere apology for missing out on the webinar due to some personal constraints. So please excuse her for this. Yeah.
We shall have now question answer session. So I would request Dr. Rashmi to kindly take it up.
Yeah. The question is being asked by a viewer to Kunal. Mr. Kunal, is he there?
Yes, Mr. Kunal, are you there? I think he is left, Dr. Rashmi.
Yeah, that is what.
He's not there. So we can
Okay.
post the next question.
Okay.
I would suggest, Rashmi, that you share the question with the other speakers so that some other speakers can take it up.
Okay,
It might be an important question from the student, and therefore we should not let it go like
okay,
that.
sir. Okay, sir. The question is, are there any jobs available for MBAs in digital healthcare sector? And if any, please elaborate.
Yeah, I think Pratibha can answer this question because she has been talking about digital marketing, and even Dr. Sakaram Garle can talk about it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, there is a lot of opportunity in digital marketing because I would like to share my personal experience. So, in my company itself, there was no specialized department for digital marketing. It happened last year itself. They incorporate a new marketing department which take care of only digital marketing. So I have been part of an APAC digitalization project, and in that project, we were only told to recruit people who are into digital marketing, who know much about digital marketing. So I guess this is one of the most lucrative field, I would say, in this today's time. Thanks. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Pratibha.
Yeah, in fact, what we have done, Rashmi, I think you should also add on to that.
Yes.
And that we have a non-credit course for digital marketing. So where we have asked all the students to come in and take in, because as I foresee, I agree with Pratibha very much, as I foresee, even in future, you're going to have a hybrid model coming in, which, you'll have to work for 2 days or 3 days and then work from home most of the time. And as she rightly pointed out, the digital side has been increasing at the rate of, almost 58%, she talked about that, from 20% to some 58%. So I think digital marketing is the in thing, and there are tremendous amount of jobs available for digital marketing. But then you must have, and as a pharma, MBA pharma plus digital marketing, I think that combination will help you. And as I mentioned in my opening remarks, DYPSM has already started, modifying its entire syllabus to include Industry 4.0 subjects, and these are basically digital marketing, data analytics, AI. All these subjects have been started off as part of the syllabus. Yeah, thank you.
My next question goes to Dr. Sakha. Viewers have asked, what would be the right time to get into the internship program of your Innovate internship program? And will it be live internship programs or it would be a job internship program? And for how many months or year? Dr. Sakha.
Pratibha, as a alumni, can you answer that question while we wait for Dr. Sakaram, I think?
May I please have the question again? Pardon me, I couldn't hear that.
Sir, If you don't mind, I will answer this question.
Okay.
because I was listening to his talk. And the question is, what would be the right time to get into internship program? And will it be a live internship program or job internship program, and for how many months? So he rightly mentioned that there would be live internship program also and job internship program also, but that depends on a certification program. Like it will be a certification program which accounts to about 6 months to 1 year at a time, and they can they can do this internship from second semester onwards, because first semester would be the one where they will get acquainted with the this curriculum, and from second semester they can always start with the program where they would be given a certificate at the end of the session. That is what he mentioned, and there would be some stipend also related to that. For that, he is also, I have asked him to send me the documents and everything so that I can approach to our students and give them the rightful information. Yeah, thank you.
Not only that, Rashmi, I think we have
Yes,
a 2-month summer internship program which is
Yes, sir.
compulsory, right?
Yes, sir.
And then in the third semester and the fourth semester, we ask students to do a live project where
Yes,
they
sir.
go for a 1 day or a 2 day in a week to the organizations.
Yes, sir.
And I think these things are very important, because this is the thing which happens when you get to know the industry
Yes, sir.
practices which are taking place, And these industry practices are very, very critical, because at the time of your interview, people will ask you these questions, whether you know the industry very well, what do you know about it? What are the challenges that you think are there in the industry, etc. And you can be right, you can be prepared to answer them.
Yes.
That's number one. The second thing is, because of the internship and the live projects that you do, as I mentioned, I don't know about the pharma sector per se. Only Rashmi and Kiran Khanna, our placement fellows, can talk about it. But I think on an average, on the whole, I can say more than 5 to 10% of our students get pre-placement offer from the pharma sector, from the other sectors that are there, because of the live projects and the summer internship projects that are there. And you won't believe what I'm trying to tell you, children. You won't believe what I'm trying to tell you. Even today, when almost all the pharma students have got placed, we are getting offers, we are getting requests from different pharma companies asking for our students. And that is something of a pride that I have, because the training which Rashmi and the team and the other faculty, Rashmi as the coordinator, and the other faculty members give us something which is creating a uniqueness in each of the students that are there. And this is what is appreciated by the industry. And you just heard what Pratibha also said, that the training that she got in our college was something which kept her apart from all the other candidates and all the other people in the industry. Yeah? So that's what I would say. Thank you.
The last question of this webinar is from Manohar sir. Manohar sir, are you there, sir? Manohar sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The question is, what are the essential criteria and prerequisites needed for the job in Biopharmaceutical Limited? What I have perceived is, you said critical thinking, problem solving approach, but apart from that, if you would like to elaborate on that. Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
madam, unable to listen. Can you repeat, please?
Sure, sir. What are the essential criteria and qualifications needed for the job in Biopharmaceutical Limited?
Yeah, can I ask you, this is for which post you are asking for?
For
Or which department you are asking for?
MBA in Pharmaceutical Industry Management or MBA Biotech graduates?
Yeah, see, when it comes to the issue of pharmaceuticals, if any candidate who is past, a pharmacy MBA, maybe it's after the BPharm MBA. So firstly, what we are looking for them is to place into the either a marketing section in brand management, product management, or maybe a digital marketing. Because when it comes to the biotechnology, we don't have as such any department who works for biotechnology, but we do have always a requirement in brand management. So, and digital marketing, there we can definitely have an entry for the MBA student. But as I earlier mentioned in my presentation, that as once again I'm quoting what Gopal Saras says, is that the 2 months or 3 months, whatever the in-field training or the sessions you people have, that should be in the accordance with the speakers who are coming. You can have their help. You can have their help into this. You can they can place these your students. They can put them into the field training with the help of our expertise manager. They'll be able to understand really what is the basic in the pharmaceutical market.
You asked some questions now. She said it's the third one. Last question he was asking.
Hello.
Yeah, Manoj sir.
Yeah, so there, if before going into the really facing an interview, if they have a basic idea about the job which they are looking for, that will be make their interview more successful, instead of just having an bookish knowledge and thinking about getting an placement and attending an interview. So chances of failure is a maximum. So instead of that, I will always suggest to have an first few days internship with the company as per the choice of the student, may it marketing, may it sales, or may it R&D, F&D, anything. But the 2 to 3 months internship should be better and should be a must.
Okay, I wanted to add some things out here, Rashmi and Vani were here. Every year about 200, 250 companies come to our college for taking interviews for the students. And invariably, I make it a point to sit down with them, maybe join them for lunch or if I'm there, or at least definitely I would go and have a cup of coffee with them and then, allow them to go further. Sometimes I would disrupt their interview and say, let's have a cup of coffee together, and call them to my room and would have a chat with them for about 5 minutes. And one of the questions which I ask is, on what basis are you selecting the students?
Right.
And then they always told me, now this is not related specifically to pharma, but I'm talking in general because it's something which is applicable to everybody. And what they all told me is, they said, sir, we are looking at 3 very important things. And what is that? The first thing they said, whether the student has got some technical, some theoretical knowledge. So I asked them, what do you mean by that? Something like, what is marketing? What is finance? What are the principles of financial management, etc., etc. The second thing they said, that very, very important, very critical, this is what they said, and that is, the student must have an application knowledge. That means, what do you mean by application knowledge? The application knowledge means, let's take, for example, I'm just giving you a marketing example because I'm more familiar with the marketing side and the financial side, rather than the pharmaceutical side. So what do you mean by that? They said, why is Amitabh Bachchan coming in, let's say, some, ad on Muthoot, no, not Muthoot, that is that other gold, Kalyan Jewelers. Why is he coming on Kalyan Jewelers? What is the purpose of using Amitabh Bachchan? It's better to have some local fellow rather than having Amitabh Bachchan. You should know that. Why is it, the next question, one guy from consumer goods asked me this question, and I was scratching my head for 1 minute before I gave him an answer. And that is, he said, why is it, question like, why is it that in every silk ad, where the music runs like, kiss me, close your eyes, vagare, all these things, that there's always a young couple and then there's some music, there's some dance, something. What is the segment that they're talking about? So these are type of application knowledge that people are asking for. Third question is, they said, we are looking at the holistic development. I said, what do you mean by holistic development? They said, does the candidate know how to speak good English? It's very important. And I must tell you, I was a little bit impressed when I heard Pratibha talking. Because her English today, I found, is very, very impeccable. It's good English that she's talking, which is normally not You do not find it in the case of people coming from Central India. Their English is slightly weak, but her English today was very good. So do you have that sort of an English knowledge? Why? English is a global language. Can you communicate? Can you communicate verbally, written, as well as are you IT savvy? And when I said, I asked them, what do you mean by IT savvy? They said, PowerPoint, Excel, Word document. Are you familiar with all of these things? I said, wow, this is very important. Then they said, are you able to work in a group? Then they said, can you demonstrate a leadership quality that you have? And the last thing that they said, one very, very important thing is, two important things. One is, do you have a positive attitude? And the last thing that they said to me was, are you able to do critical thinking and problem solving attitude? Do you have these two? And post-COVID, when I was talking, not post, I mean after the COVID wave 2, when I was talking to a lot of people, they said, you must demonstrate that you're capable of learning. And how do you demonstrate that? That you demonstrate by doing some certification. Now, this is something which everybody, put it upside down or downside up, whatever it is. But everybody were uniformly talking on this. And they said there's a weightage given to all of this stuff. And what is that weightage? They said 10% weightage to that thing called as theoretical knowledge, 40% weightage to application knowledge, 40% knowledge, for that the holistic knowledge, and about 10% for that certification knowledge. I know somebody is already calculating in his mind and saying, Gopal, it's coming to 110%. Don't catch me so much on the numbers, but then try to understand the meaning of what I'm saying. This is what they were all saying. And it's so important, that all of you students must learn these things. And how do they measure it? Theoretical knowledge, application knowledge is very simple. They just ask you a few questions and they ask you to explain. But when it comes to holistic, people ask you things like, give me a situation where you are faced with a problem, where you are faced with a problem and the group doesn't agree with you. Then how do you manage the group? How do you negotiate with the group? Give me a situation. Give me a situation where you have gone, your views are directly opposite to what Dr. Gopal, the leader of the D.Y. Patil University School of Management, is saying. Now, what did you do to convince him or get convinced? What did you do? Give me a situation like this. Demonstrate leadership. How do you demonstrate that? By saying that I took part in sports, I took part in group discussions, I took part in organizing conferences, webinars, etc., etc. Now, these are things which people are looking at. And it's on the basis of this, in that 40 minutes or 30 to 40 minutes, that the HR managers, that the CEOs who come to our college to take interviews decide. And it is not small companies or medium-sized companies. I'm talking of even large companies like KPMG, which comes to our campus. Dun & Bradstreet, which comes to our campus. Now, these guys also have a similar attitude, a similar pattern. And unless and until you master this holistic development, and I can only tell you guys one very important thing, and that is we in D.Y. Patil University School of Management lay a lot of emphasis on the holistic development. We have resume writing, we have communication skills coming in, we have group discussions coming in, negotiation patterns coming in. Our entire pedagogy, as I understand from Vani and Rashmi and the other faculties, there's a lot of group discussions going on and presentations coming up. Single presentation, group presentations. Case studies are given so that you can see the interlink between marketing, finance, HR, etc., all these things coming together. And that is how today I can only tell, I'm really very happy to announce that almost all my students who have all applied for a job have all been placed, and they've all been placed in good companies with good salaries, which I talked about earlier. Yeah. So theoretical knowledge, application knowledge, holistic development, and a few certifications are an important thing, which whether it is Manohar or whether it is any other company will be looking at. Manohar, please agree. Please let me know if I'm wrong in my thinking. As a CEO of the company, I think you should also tell me whether I'm wrong in what I've just now said. Thank you. Manohar?
No, no, sir. You are very much right. You are very much over there, and that is what I have been emphasizing on the same thing. That before putting them on job, before putting them into the field, at least they should have a basic knowledge, basic understanding of the job, and that will only make them their entry easier in the organization.
Yeah, Vani.
Pratibha, I have a question for you. Pratibha, I hope you are there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Pratibha, there are two questions which I would like to ask. So our current students who are doing MBA in pharma and MBA in biotechnology are in the same juncture where you were 13 years back. Right? Just in your story, you have mentioned that during your time you have faced a recession, and there was an issue of getting the job and other things. Still, you managed, and because it was only because of your resilient behavior that you could manage, and you are in such a top position and good position now. So our current students are also in the same position. I can say I can relate the same thing to our current students. So they are also having that inhibition that due to this pandemic, what will happen to their jobs? So how you would like to address this issue to the students?
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for giving me a chance to talk about this. So, as I already mentioned, it's all about how good your vigor is, how strong your desire is to.
Pratibha, put your video on. Put your video on, Pratibha.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I would like to say how good your vigor is, how good your desire is, to get a particular job or to do what you want. That's what is important, because I believe theoretical knowledge and the understanding of science and business is all what we learn. But ultimately, it all depends upon us how we present it, to the interviewer. So I like to give you a small example of an IIM. So my one of my friends working, my colleagues working with me, he is from IIM. So he has passed from IIM Bangalore. But we both are in the same position, we both are in the same job profile. So why is it so? Because we all, so even an IIM struggles for a job, even a graduate struggles for a job, even I struggled for a job. So it's all about how good is your desire and how zealous you are to get that job. I think that drives the most. If you fear now, you will never be able to make it. So I believe in one thing, which I strongly believe, दो इट्स अ लाइन ऑफ अ मूवी, अगर आप किसी भी चीज को बहुत शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात आपको मिलाने की कोशिश करती है, एंड आई बिलीव इट थ्रू माय हार्ट. So I believe if you want something, you will get it. And if you have a pinch of doubt, you're gone there. You're just gone there. So I just would like to tell all the students who are here that don't lose hope and give your best every time. Ma'am, you will not believe, to get into marketing. So I completed my 1 year in Ranbaxy sales, and to get into marketing, I attended interview more than 50 interviews in 1.5 year. So out of 2.5 years of my sales profile in Ranbaxy, 1.5 year was only the interviews which I used to give for Ranbaxy. And I didn't lose hope. Many of my friends lose hope because it was a recession time. People has a lot of hopes, people has a lot of requirements, but then I upgraded every time I attended the interview, and I guess that helped me a lot. And that's what I would like to say for the people who are viewing it.
Yeah. Rightly said, Pratibha.
Vani and Pratibha,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, can I add something?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
sure.
because these are things which are very close to my heart, and I want to share something. Children, what you should have is something called as what Pratibha just now said, I call it as a fire in the belly. And unless you have that fire in the belly, you cannot succeed. Give you a simple example, about my own self. I passed out in 1976 from IIT Kharagpur. And in my own department, I was the second or the third guy in the department. And some of the papers I was excellent. Scoring excellent at IIT is something of a big achievement. But when I joined Tata Economic Consultancies, I was put in the league of people from IM, Bajaj, and XLRI, because these were the only management institutions that are there in those days. We didn't have 16 IMs and all that which we have today, right? Only 3 or 4, and I was put in that league. And then people never used to respect me because after all, I'm only an engineer. I don't have any MBA background. And one day I got a little bit depressed. I said, "Kya ho raha hai yaar? Why is it happening like this?" And I went to the terrace because I was staying in a chawl. And I went to the terrace and sat down below the tank. And I said, "Gopal, first thing, what do you want to achieve in life?" I had not done my MBA. Let me tell you this also. I said, "What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in life?" I said, "Look here, in another 10 years' time, I should be the number 1 or number 2 of a large organization. That's my aim in life." Then I said, "Will an engineering degree help me?" The answer which I realized was no. It was partly influenced by people who were with me in Tata Consultancies. I said, "You need to have an MBA degree," but then I could not go back to IIM because of family problems, this, that, etc. In fact, I got admission into IIM Bangalore, and I had to cancel it because family support was not there. So I went and did my part-time MBA. Then I said, that's not enough. Because I suddenly realized that money is something which is very, very critical. And no business can ever run without money. So I went and did my ICW because I couldn't do a CA or a CS because that was again a full-time and lots of hassles with that. I did a ICW, which is a part-time, MBA part-time, ICW part-time. And then I said, I need to come up. Why? Because one of the vice chancellors of SNDT, he's no more, Professor Sundaram, he said he used to stay in my own building. And he said, "Gopal, I want you to do a PhD. I said, "Kya yaar, what the hell is he troubling me for PhD and all that?" But every day he was after me. And then finally I said, "Karke dekhega kya hota hai usme." That was the attitude which I had. Then I went a little bit deeper, and then finally I completed my PhD from Mumbai University. To cut a long story short, I remained in Tata's for about 5 years. I said, hell with Tata, joined Siemens. And in Siemens, when I retired out, I was this number 2 in the department as the department head, because you cannot get the number 1 or number 2 of Siemens because these are normally positions which are reserved for the Germans in those days. Remember, Siemens is a German company. And instead of 10 years, it took me 15 years, but it was a struggle. At every point of time, there were heavy hardships coming in. At every point of time, you have to learn, you have to relearn, you have to unlearn, you learn, relearn, learn, relearn, unlearn, all sorts of things. And you have to, and sometimes an educational qualification becomes like a albatross around your neck. And that's what happened because Siemens is an engineering company. Everybody was an engineer. I was an engineer with an MBA, ICW, and a PhD. But I used that to my advantage when I joined the strategic planning department, and then people accepted me. So what I'm only trying to tell you is you must have fire in the belly. You must pursue your goal. You must write down what exactly you want to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years. Number 1. Number 2, draw up your strengths and weaknesses. Find out where is your strength, where is your weaknesses, and cover up your weaknesses by doing something extra and proving to yourself. And unless you do all of this, you cannot succeed. You must never let that fire in your belly ever get down. It should keep on burning. It should keep on burning. Day in and day out, it should burn. Your entire, to use a very crude language, your stomach must be burning and saying, and a desire must be there to say, I will get it, I will get it, I will get it. And if you don't have that desire, nothing can work for you. You will only be a mediocre. Water rises, you also rise, but you cannot jump above. Yeah. Remember this, children. That's all that I've got to say. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And I would like to say I'm very proud that Pratibha is also sharing the same job profile which an IIM graduate is also sharing. So that is a proud moment for all the professors who have taught you, Pratibha. And
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
And I hope the students who are watching you on YouTube will definitely consider you as their role model, and they would like to follow your path.
No. I think I don't believe in, being a role model. We should be our own role models. That's what I believe. When we see ourselves back, we should be proud of ourselves. That's what we should do in our life. So I don't want to be anyone's role model. Thanks a lot for your kind words.
No, but I have a different viewpoint, Pratibha and Vani. I have a viewpoint against a viewpoint for Vani. Okay. Pratibha is young. She's still got miles to go. She has not achieved her full potential, as I can see that today. And I'm seeing her virtually. Yeah. So she can only be a stepping stone. She cannot be a role model for others. A role model, as she rightly put it, you got to set up for yourself and you got to dream big.
Yeah.
You got to dream big. You can't dream being a digital manager. That's not a goal. That's not a role model. That's not a vision. You got to dream big. I remember Narendra Modi when he stood for elections in 2004. He didn't say anything, but you could sense that charismatism in him and that vision that he had. When his first election, he very clearly said, I am the president, I am the Prime Minister of India. That's all. Chapter is over. His aim was to be the Prime Minister of India. His aim was not just to remain as one Chief Minister of Gujarat and Chief Minister of Maharashtra or something like that. But his aim was to be the Prime Minister. And that's what you got to think. You got to think big. You got to think big. You got to think big. And if you can't think big for yourself, forget it. You are nobody. You are nobody. Let me tell you this. And when you think big, you got to work towards it. You got to demonstrate those leadership qualities. You got to think, this is my company. This is my job. This is my company. And if I were the owner of this company, what will I do? You got to go to your management and say, this is the problem, this is the solution. Don't go to him with a problem. He'll say, hell with you, yaar. I've got enough problems in my head. Now you are also coming up with one problem. Chodo, yaar. But if you go to him with a problem and a solution and tell him, sir, this is what, sir or madam, this is what I think could be the probable solution. What do you think about it? Accepting the solution or rejecting the solution, that is his prerogative, not yours. But you got to always go with the solution to the problem, to your bosses. And that's where the key to success lies. Think big, problem-solving attitude, a positive attitude. Nothing more is required. Fire in the belly, nothing more is required. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pratibha, there is one last question which I would like to ask. When Dr. Sapna read your profile, she mentioned that you have done n number of certification courses. So there are a lot many of our students who are interested to know which are the courses which are looked after by the corporates and which will help them in their recruitment process and selection process. So can you throw some light on the courses which are looked up by the corporates nowadays. And what are the courses, like whether it is LinkedIn courses or Google courses, or which courses are more appropriate and prominent in the industry?
I would say there are a lot of courses these days available. Either you go to Coursera or you go to LinkedIn or many other educational websites. What I believe is you should have an understanding of what the concept is, and you can do course from anywhere. Well, my though I have done a lot of from LinkedIn learning, but my personal preference is Coursera because I rate it much better when I compared both. Secondly, I believe, in today's dynamic environment, I felt that VUCA is something which is very important. So, a lot of changes, and you don't know when the changes happen. So, VUCA, learning about VUCA environment is something very important. Digital marketing, and how so I've done a couple of, courses in that as well, so that I could be in pace with what is actually happening, in Indian market as well as in global markets. So yes, I've done digital marketing programs, which I feel is very important and very key. If your curriculum, so it is very important what your academic curriculum is. So if in your academic curriculum there is a little gap, like how Gopal sir said, you have digital marketing as an added subject. So I would be always advocating to have those programs, because those are very important, and that helps in being in line with what the industry needs today at this moment. So digital programs are second, and third actually is Six Sigma programs, which I always tell people to do, though I am yet to get to the I'm only in the green belt, so I have to do the others. But I would suggest Six Sigma is another certification program which is very important. So these are the three. And yes, product management programs. So I did project management again because I had done my MBA long back, so I need to had a refresher. So I did it again. But I think a fresh graduate may not require a project management program immediately, because when you climb the ladder up, you may require those leadership skills, and that is the time when you require, project management, or for that matter, leadership programs, which I've done couple of them. So yeah, but apart from that, I would prefer, I am from a marketing perspective, so in that perspective I would say Six Sigma and digital marketing and VUCA environment, because that's quite dynamic. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
Pratibha, if you allow me, if you allow me to generalize a little bit, okay. For example, when you talk of management as a whole, digital marketing, data analytics, introduction to AI, then, if you're a finance, especially getting into finance, then fintech or financial modeling is something which is very important. Yeah. So these are things which are extremely critical. Now, I think Rashmi mentioned that we've got a subject called as IPR. So, as you climb up the ladder, IPR becomes very critical. And nowadays, there is a tussle going on between various pharma companies. Now, this is especially meant for pharma companies, biotech companies. There's a tussle going on between the various pharma companies and various countries and various companies in the different countries, shifting from branded goods to generic goods manufacturing. For example, Cipla is known to be a generic manufacturer, right? And there are a large number of cases filed against Cipla and filed against so many other companies, especially in the US. So IPR knowledge is something which is very, very important, and we should really jump into IPR, but not immediately, but maybe in the future, as you join the organization and start working towards it. Yeah. Thank you, Vani. Take over.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So now we come to the end of the webinar. So I would request Dr. Sapna to propose the formal vote of thanks.
It was indeed a very interesting session today, that we came across many things which were related to pharma and biotech industry. Before I formally place my thanks, I would like to again mention that we at Diva Patil Deemed to be University School of Management have a 3-year BBA course, the admission for which is open. We have a 2-year MBA course, the admission for which is open. So whoever wishes to take admission can get in touch with us. We also have our YouTube channel, that's the DYPUSM webinars. So whoever wishes to see our past webinars which have been conducted so far, or to have a glimpse of the upcoming events which are there, and to like check what webinars are going on, you have to like, share, and subscribe our channel. The subscription is free of cost. We also have an upcoming webinar which is scheduled on this coming Saturday, which will be on HR aspects. So wish to see you all. Now I would like to place my thanks on the university officials, the Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, the Chairman, and the Registrar for giving the opportunity to conduct such a webinar. I would also like to place my thanks to Professor Dr. R. Gopal, Director and HOD of DYPUSM, Dr. Vani Kama, Dean, DYPUSM, for giving the opportunity to conduct this webinar. Dr. Rashmi Mishra to coming up with such a theme and with this webinar. I would also like to place my thanks to our associate partners, Indian Merchant Chambers, MSME Chamber of Commerce Industry of India, New Delhi, WTC World Trade Center, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce Industry and Agriculture, NCCIA, Global Exports India, Global TV. I would also like to place my thanks to the guests for today, Dr. Sakaram Garale, Mr. Manohar, and Mr. Kunal Sunavne, for giving their valuable times and giving a lot of insights to pharmaceutical and biotech industry. I would also like to place my thanks to our alumni, Ms. Pratibha and Ms. Mansi, though she couldn't be there, for making themselves available and giving their lot of insights on today's webinar. Last but not the least, I would like to place my thanks to the faculty members who are viewing this webinar, to the participants, to our own students, and throughout the globe who are watching and seeing us live. Thank you so much for making this event successful. Thank you.